Peace, 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 peace. Hope everybody's doing all right. Got a few things going on in the background. And we're gonna get started in a minute. Give it a few minutes for folks to come in. Let's see. Get everything coordinated. You know what I'm saying for us to get into our discussion today regarding Mr. Lupe. And so, yeah, it's been a busy week. That's for sure. Lupe, I love Lupe, y'all, but my man's is going through it. Let me pull up a little. I got to do better about doing background. Production stuff. You know, I'm still learning how to be a producer, producing my own content. So yeah, Lupe, I love you, bro. You got to pick your battles, man. You know, ain't nothing wrong with standing up for yourself, speaking up for your art. But come on, bro. You got to pick your battles. So we're going to give it a few minutes and get started. But yeah, appreciate y'all tapping in from wherever around the world. All right. And so, yeah, man, it's been a busy week in the hip hop space. It's been a lot of back and forth with our good brother Lupe Fiasco and the rest of these content creators. Appreciate everybody tapping in. If you can hear me, go ahead and just throw me some ones or something in the chat. We're gonna be here for a minute. It's gonna be real lax. Y'all know how we do. And so, yeah, we're gonna kind of go through everything briefly. Not too much, in depth. I really don't have nothing to add to the conversation, but I do just want to have, a higher level conversation when it's all said and done about, some of the choices our good brother Lupe's made and how he could have approached things differently. Now I know, we've already, talked ad nauseum about him and his rights to speak on things however he wants to. Appreciate you, J-Tom. Yeah. Y'all tap that like button coming on in. You know what I'm saying? It's been a beautiful, beautiful week for the YouTube content creation space. Even my babies in the background agree. They like, yeah. But yeah, man, I just think Lupe could have just made some different choices. And he didn't have to, join the different streams and all that, but he definitely could have decided to interact differently. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he just has a history of this, and it really doesn't change. It doesn't get any better. He just kind of like rinse and repeat. It just picks a new content creator. What's going on, Tasha Shea, Lone Jazz Eagle? Appreciate y'all tapping in. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Happy Friday. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully everybody getting a little time off. If not, you got some time set aside to relax and spend some time with your family. Even though it ain't our holiday, we still celebrate independence everywhere. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? What's up, Lord Racer? Appreciate everybody tapping in. Happy Friday. I got an off day. It's been a busy week. That's another thing too. I've been going through some training, going through some shakeups at work, and having to go in and out of the office and stuff like that. It's been a real crazy week. I've been trying to stay abreast of everything, but the funny thing is, I was literally tapped in for like 80 to 90% of everything that happened with Lupe and the content creators this past week. And so I'm just gonna give my perspective. You know, I'm a fan of hip hop, so of course I love Lupe and his artistry. His music is top tier, unmatched. We're not, nobody's gonna discredit that. Even with what a lot of what Koala was talking about, I think a lot of what he says has a lot of truth in it, but the facts of what he's saying gets lost in the presentation. He's very animated, you know what I'm saying? Um, but that's just how he is. That doesn't mean his perspective is any less valid. I don't think I ever really heard him say Lupe is a whack rapper. I think he said more than anything, people have a hard time understanding him and what he's saying. And I honestly believe that's Lupe's intentions. He wants to challenge you. I mean, he's literally a professor at MIT for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like that nobody's ever gonna say there's not one intelligent brother who knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Koala? Appreciate you. Yeah, man. It's all about you, my bro. And one main thing that I wanted, like, I've been sending super chats. I've been trying to get, the other content creators to really, talk about this. I think Read My Soul, Ms. Hummus, shout out to them. They might have touched on this, but I really loved how Koala just really took that moment and brought everybody along with him. And more than anything, that's an example of what hip hop is, what real hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? And we can't lose sight of this is a community. I am because we are. You know what I'm saying? No matter how smart you get, no matter how many accolades you have, you are here because of the people that support you and put you here. My young man right here, he tapping in. He want to say what's up? Say what's up.
Hello.
We got little Emery Jr. in the house over my shoulder. And yeah, another thing, the children are watching you. Hello? Y'all, like, hip hop is what it is today because of the youth, because of the movement, and even my children, like, I'm raising them in the culture that I was raised, which is hip hop. And like not rap, not the music industry. I'm talking about hip hop. Higher infinite power healing our people. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna probably do a whole separate live on all of that, But yeah, man, Lupe, you got to pick your battles. And so, coming from a place of maturity, Lupe's been doing this thing for 25 years. I've been pretty much every step of the way. I found Lupe in high school, like everybody else with Kanye. With the Kanye late registration, I was literally just telling my mother-in-law earlier today, like his verse on Touch the Sky was probably one of the best introductions to a career that a rapper has ever had. I don't know, like I'm pretty sure I'm not even gonna think about it because it's too much to just really think about right now. But yeah, the way he came in, like kicking the door on Touch the Sky, guess who's on third? With the third verse, shout out to the company man and Stat Quo. On the third verse of Touch the Sky, like, come on, y'all. So yeah, we gonna have a real hip hop conversation this morning. I wanted to talk about the history of Lupe's public interactions because he's been at this for well over 15, almost 20 years. I think it might have started on Twitter with a lot of back and forth. And then, his interactions with politicians and different media spaces historically. You know what I'm saying? Like him making comments about politics, which he has every right to make. You want to sit down? Come on. Help her out though. I don't need my baby screaming in the background. You got to help me out with that. It's a team effort over here. And yeah, I'm gonna be. The cheat code is I got to play a couple videos so I can get stuff done in the background. But you know, that's neither here nor there. So yeah, like him, you know, his performance at the White House, like dissing Obama, the black president. No matter how you feel about him, like he's literally Obama, and he invited you to his house to perform, and you use that opportunity to literally disrespect him. And we talking about a lot of disrespect with this back and forth with him and these content creators. The things he said about other people could, like, it's no question. He meant to be taken disrespectfully. So like he's like, I know the hashtag that come to, you know, probably 10, 15 years later, but disrespectfully, you know, such and such and such is a terrorist. Such and such is a war criminal. Such and such is, you know, a hypocrite and all of that. Like, yeah, you can say those things, but if a man invites you to his home and you decide to say those things, that's a whole that's a whole other can of worms. And it's not like, I get it, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big conscious, you know, pro African, pan Africanist, pro black, you know, I root for everybody black. You know what I'm saying? But like at the end of the day, how you do things shows more about who you are than, you know, anything else. You know what I'm saying? And so it just, you're showing that you operate in bad faith. And that's, you know, that's literally what I think a lot of the fans' frustrations with Lupe is that, what's going on, Miss Ashley? How you doing? Appreciate you. You know, all of the, you know, folks tapping in. You know, we building a little family here, and I'm inspired by what Koala's done, and you know, other shout out to Ms. Hummins, Read My Soul. Even We Are Deciphered. You know, I know we've had our differences over the last couple months, but you know, I'm inspired by what these people do, you know, and how they present themselves online, and the conversations that we have. I think it's exceptional, and Lupe recognizes that, you know. Glasses, another example, you know, shout out to Glasses and everybody at the No Ceilings podcast. Like the battle was one thing within the space, but how the YouTube and the reactor space has kind of taken a step forward and you know, become more a part of the conversation, you know, more light in the forefront. You know, J Tom, everything he got going on with the reactions. I'm gonna have to pull out my phone because I'm inspired, man. I'm piggybacking off of Koala. I'm shouting out everybody. So you know, what's going on, Noah? You know, it's just a beautiful thing that we have going on. You know, with this YouTube hip hop content creator reaction space, and you know, not to say that Lupe was just trying to piggyback off of that, but they recognize what's going on, and they see what we got. You know, the value that we bring to hip hop, to the culture, and they not oblivious. So man, without further ado, I'm gonna get into it. This is, but we're gonna get into this backstory a little bit. I just got a whole bunch of tabs up. You know what I'm saying? I might even, yeah. Hold on. I'm going to invite some people to kind of come up if they want to, and so let me go ahead and post the link, and then see if I can pin it. I've never done it before, but yeah, we just put that up there right there. So if you want to, you know, tap in and join the conversation, hit the link. But I'm gonna go back a little a little ways. You know what I'm saying? This is almost 2 years ago. I think we could talk about, you know, a lot of stuff recently, and we're gonna get to that. But let's just spend a few moments on this recent round of interactions with Lupe. And I think it started with Curtis King back in July 2024. And just, you know, the conversations around Lupe and how he feels about artists, other artists. You know, we don't really have to go all the way back. I'm pretty sure it'll come up, you know, in the other content, but we don't have to go all the way back to the 2012, 2013, 14 interviews, you know what I'm saying? Because it's literally I thought I put it in there, but if it didn't show up, you know, I'm still figuring this thing out. Let me try it again. I don't know. Is it showing up as a hyperlink? No, it's there. Okay, I see it. Never mind. But yeah, we just gonna go and listen to what Curtis, you know, how this came about. He hopped on Curtis stream you know, back in 2024, and that kind of was the start of this thing. So yeah, let's look at that briefly for a few minutes. And yeah, y'all tap in, let me know what y'all think. For those that don't know, I have newborn twins, and so that's why it's more than one. they be going in. So let me see this.
Let me draw your attention to this video first that does a good wrap up on some of the first bit of the shenanigans by Lupe Fiasco. This one is on an Instagram page called I Am Bobby Foster. His caption says, "I'm not sure why Lupe Fiasco always talks on Lamar." There's a history of this. We're going to dig into some of that. But let's see what Bobby Foster is talking about here.
Lupe's throwing shade at Kendrick, and what he says honestly just doesn't make sense to me.
But they selling more records than you and selling more tour dates than you. But you the spokesperson for hip-hop. That don't make no sense.
For context, this is one of the many conversations that Lupe had live in the Twitter spaces or X spaces, whatever you want to call it, where he jumped in and had some really vulnerable conversations, right? His relationship with Stack Bundles and how that affected the way he viewed New York in general. He's talking about here, Kendrick versus Drake, and how he believes that because of certain metrics, it disqualifies Kendrick Lamar from being able to say that he's king of hip hop right now, which is odd, but I'll let him cook.
So he's saying that Kendrick can't claim he's a spokesperson for hip hop because Drake sells more than he does. That doesn't really make sense, because when you talk about hip hop as a genre specifically, like music sales doesn't necessarily correlate to like cultural influence and impact, because like hip hop was born out of being anti-establishment. So also aligning cultural influence with, you know, sales, that doesn't make sense.
And also too, Lupe ain't sold more than both of them. Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it. Neither did I, but I didn't bring this conversation up. When have
Facts. That's another, like, that's a major part of the argument. Lupe be using like a lot of sales and Billboard or, you know, fan notoriety to kind of like big up Drake, but put down Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very weird how he wants to make it about a beef with the fans. And I wish I would have did this. I'd be having ideas and I'd be forgetting to like put stuff together because I'm a very visual person. J-Time, you in here? Can you hear me? I added J-Time.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Oh, hey, man, I'm blessed.
Yeah, what's up? What's up? So, man, like you feel what I'm saying? Like, I definitely think that it's so much overlap. Like, if I put a Venn diagram with Lupe fans and Kendrick fans, it would be like a little sliver of like isolation between both of them. You know what I'm saying? Like almost like a crescent moon, and then like 80% of the common center would literally just be, you know, like all of us. We're literally, a lot of us are fans of both of them. And like the way Lupe moves, it's like he don't recognize that. He operates like, oh, his fans are different. His fans don't, they're too much into him, when his fans literally got into a beef with the label. What's your thoughts about that, man?
Man, I believe that if you were a Lupe fan back in the day, you're also a Kendrick fan. Kendrick really looks up to Lupe Fiasco. He even said it in his songs. He said it in that live stream. The one that said that comment was Punch. I don't know if you remember that live stream. Read.
The one that just came up that's been going around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
remember it.
Yeah, so the one that actually said those comments was Punch. But Kendrick, if you listen to the lyrics that he said back in the past, and that's probably why he hasn't really touched base on, on anything that's been going on, is because in all actuality, Lupe is one of those. he's an actual like true lyricist. If you go back and look at what a lyricist is, they are people that put words together and kind of make a story around like a punchline. And that's basically what he does.
Yeah, like he's literally one of the best at it. And
Yep.
but just all right, we're gonna get back to the video in a second. But just
Right.
for him to like in the past make arguments about, oh, this person's better because they have more recognition, more accolades, more sales, like knowing that ain't got nothing to do with the skills, knowing that ain't got nothing to do with the artistry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's like sales is literally just sales. It's great marketing. It's great, I guess product placement, logistics, or whatever. Which that was what we had to deal with back then. Now it's just streaming, and there's only like a handful of artists that really engage with physicals. You know what I'm saying? And so,
right,
like, yeah. Let me pull up the video. I appreciate J-Time. I'm gonna pull up Noah in just a second. Okay.
All right, cool. You need me to dip or?
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do them one at a time, so I can keep you up, and then if you want, you're in the chat, you could just make a comment. You can come and go as you please. It's real lax.
All right, man.
It's Friday morning, but it's like a Saturday, so we got a lot going on in the background. Is all these children,
sure, yeah.
We making breakfast and everything. We're trying to watch the video a little bit. And the reason why I do it like this because I know we got a lot of stuff going on later with the other content creators. So I just wanted to give myself an opportunity to kind of speak on it. But did you have anything else like you wanted to mention real quick before we did? Before I get back to the video. All right.
Just to make sure, like the video and subscribe to Reed. He's a good dude. He has a really good perspective on things. I've been watching your videos.
Appreciate it.
I've been liking them, just haven't commented on them. But I have been watching your videos. Go ahead and subscribe to Reed. Again, he's a real good dude. Has good perspective on things, and you guys are gonna see if you're new here.
Yeah. For sure. I'm gonna give y'all a little quick sneak peek. I got a live coming tomorrow with one of my homies. It should be up on my page. But we're gonna be talking about sound and being intentional about how we consume sound. So that goes from just music to words. I've had a couple of videos or a couple of interactions around the N-word and different things like that. And so we're gonna be delving into a little bit of a deeper, higher level conversation around sound. And he's a sound therapist. Like he conducts, sound healing sessions with the sound bowls and stuff like that. He's a musician. He's a singer and all that good stuff. And so I got some more stuff coming. So yeah, just it's gonna be a busy weekend. Appreciate y'all tapping in. But let's get back to this video because we got about five or 10 more minutes on this video. Appreciate it. I'm gonna pull up Noah in just a second too. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. We got about 5 or 10 more minutes of this video, and then we're gonna get back to it.
When has there been a time in history, and I'm sure it has existed before, where the top lyricists are making talking points for who's the king of this shit? A lyrical monster in their own right, who's making a claim for who's the king based upon metrics by them folks, the ministry folks, them folks that went and capitalized and cannibalized upon the culture. You talking about them people? Them folks? Talking about them folks? Since when have we allowed that to rule things? Because if that was the case on the way in for Lupe Fiasco, there'd be a lot of people who would disqualify him and his voice. But we know what his impact was. As early back as the Kick Push, we know his contribution. Such a weird talking point. And that makes me wonder, why would he want to say this during one of Kendrick's biggest moments? Interesting.
There have been a lot of hip hop artists that have meant a large amount to the genre that never had great sales. And on the flip side, there's people that have had ridiculous amount of sales that haven't really had that type of influence on the genre. Like, it's clear that Kendrick Lamar has a gigantic reverence for hip hop, from the history, the culture, the craft. And so what do you mean, like, people can't see him as a spokesperson for the genre? Like, he's probably one of the best people to do that. I don't know, Lupe just keeps taking these like subtle shots at Kendrick, and I really don't know why.
It's interesting, but we are just getting started. Did you know that Lupe has all this to say, but apparently during the back and forth with Kendrick and Drake, he didn't listen to not one of the diss songs by Kendrick? I draw your attention over here to this clip where they clipped up an interview or a conversation that was had between Lupe Fiasco and Joe Budden. And here's where he kind of lays out what he means, how he views the beef, and all of the above, especially as somebody, like I said, that teaches courses, does courses at colleges in which he's teaching the great art of lyricism to someone who is pretty much a scholar within this space. It's just odd to see him talk this way, specifically about Kendrick once again.
What up, Joe?
There we go. Peace, 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 peace.
What's up, brother?
What brings you to?
Let me see, Miss Ashley, you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. What's going on? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. It's been a crazy week, and I've probably been seeing everybody in all these live chats. We kind of seeing things the same way.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
fine. It's
don't
nice to
know.
finally talk to you and everything. I appreciate how you show up for everybody, you know.
Of
And
course.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm
yeah.
disappointed more than anything, because even though I don't necessarily compare Lupe to what Kendrick has done in the last 2 years, I liked Lupe. Like, I
Man.
like his music. I would have brought him up as like, yeah, don't sleep on Lupe. Like, go back and listen to his stuff. But now I look at him like I'm really looking at him, and I don't like what I'm
Yeah.
seeing.
And it's not like it's okay to be competitive. We're not like, nobody's ever really like upset or trying to discredit Lupe's pen or his competitive spirit or anything like that. It's just like the way you moving, and you know, we'll get to it, but the way you moving, man, it's coming off bitter, bro. Like,
It's in his
like
head. It's mostly in his
it
head.
is,
Because we can
it is.
say, you're dope. We like what you do. And he's going to hear, but Kendrick is not this. Like, he's going to hear that we're saying Kendrick is better. Even if we're just talking about him, like, he really doesn't even know how to take. They were saying, you don't go where you're celebrated. You're not on the company man's channel. You're not going to these people who speak well of you, but you're jumping on these content creators who maybe don't really like what you're doing. And you're trying to say what they can and cannot say about you and that they don't qualify. What are we doing here? This is art we're talking about? Like, what do you mean we can't have a perspective on hip hop? You're talking to creators? That's insane.
And that's what it was. Like, he came into the space with a level of bravado and machismo that automatically was just trying to discredit what everybody was saying. And like, you're right to have an opinion, but when your disposition is, against everybody else, but you're also attacking everybody else, you know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you think what you think, but you don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to let it be known, and you don't have to use it like a weapon against people. And that's what I think he's failing to realize. Is like, we're not the label, that you was frustrated with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just,
you can't say F the fans. You can't say I don't care about the fans. You can't say that when you've admitted that you've chosen your fans over the business part of it. You've done it before. and he considers that a shortcoming, like a failure on his part, well, that was your decision. You know, at the same time, now you can't act like your fans are not the ones buying your music and the reason why you have a career and the reason why you have a position as a professor, because you have fans. So he's kind of like missing, he's throwing out the baby with the bathwater. So I don't know. I just hope he grows like spiritually. I hope he sits down and really looks at himself after this, because he's done himself no favors.
Exactly. We're gonna get back to the video. I really want us to focus on this point, because I'm a little confused with what he's about to talk about with Joe Budden, with how he's saying he didn't really listen to the diss tracks. You know, because not only did he not have a reason not to listen to the diss tracks, like him telling everybody that he didn't listen to the diss tracks, it just comes off a certain way. You know what I'm saying? It's like he has to see that it comes off a certain.
How can you have an opinion if you haven't listened to anything?
And it's yeah, man. It's just, I just don't understand how he keeps volunteering his own like discredit, like things that are discrediting him. He provides, and like we're gonna get to it, because even shout out to Koala in one of the first videos from a couple months ago pretty much said how everything was gonna go down, and like I haven't seen nobody bring that back up. Like they've been talking about, yeah, he got a couple of videos, but I watch Koala. You know what I'm saying? I'm part of the Koala-Tea family, and so I know, I know how he does his thing. And like I even wanted to call in to the No Ceilings podcast earlier this week. Shout out to Miss Hummus, because I think it was KP. They held it down beautifully. But because it was just like the way he was being talked about and presented, it's like, oh, y'all just don't know the homie. Like that's just how he is. He funny as hell. He gonna rap everybody. Let Kendrick do some goof shit. That's another thing. Y'all want to talk about how people don't talk about Kendrick like that? Kendrick don't be doing no goofy ass shit, y'all.
No, he doesn't. He don't make us look bad. Like he don't embarrass us.
Yeah, you will never see nobody like Kendrick on nobody's couch you talking shit about somebody else.
Nope. He gonna put it on a track. He gonna put it in the music. And that's what you're supposed to do. Yes.
It's about the art and it's about the culture. And like it's so easy for Lupe to kind of like not necessarily take that exact stance, but just take a piece of that. Like just take a little bit, like a little
and I'm a teacher,
so
breaking it like I have to constantly think about what other people might think and give them their voice, and then have a dialogue. He doesn't know how to have discourse. He doesn't know how to listen and respond.
I can't say that. I think he knows exactly how to do it in a certain place.
He refuses to do it.
And we're going to get to that. He just shows up in certain places with just a lot of like vitriol and animosity. Appreciate you tapping in real quick. I'm going to get back to the video, and then I'm going to bring Noah back up. Feel free to hang out backstage, and then, we're going to do back and forth. I'm just trying to do a little bit of, get everybody an opportunity. But man, Miss Ashley, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. For sure.
Shout out to you. Love what you do.
Appreciate it.
To our room of negativity.
No, I was just on the Twitter doing some housekeeping, and I seen you was up, so I just jumped in. That's all.
All right. I thought you were coming in here to get at me.
No, I would never get at you. If I get at you, I'm gonna call you.
That is true. That is true.
I'm gonna do the public shit.
You have been on a tear as of late.
I mean, even when I don't do nothing, right?
I like that.
Hold up. Y'all see how Joe was already on edge? we joined the stream. He was already on some like, hey man, like what you Too funny.
Like that. I like that. I'm banned from talking about the beef, and this is not beef room, but I just want to let you know I see you laying your fork in the sand on where you stand on things, and that's commendable for me.
I haven't listened to any of the songs.
Yeah, I saw another interview where he was talking about that he had heard Push-Ups, but he hasn't heard any of the songs by Kendrick. Why?
Hold on, I gotta run that back. Curtis made the goofy face. He said, one time
doing things, and that's commendable for me.
I haven't listened to any of the songs.
Yet I saw another interview where he was talking about that he had heard push-ups, but he hasn't heard any of the songs by Kendrick. Why single him out? That's odd. That's odd.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's baffling to people. I stopped listening. I listened to push-ups and was the Ross response. And then after the Ross response, I haven't listened to anything. So I haven't heard any of the records.
You telling me? Hold on. Let me bring this together. You telling me that one of the best lyricists of this time, one of the most competitive, because we saw the conversation of back and forth that he tried to start up with a Royce da 5'9" as of recently, a few years back, mostly during the pandemic. This man, in all of his competitive spirit, doesn't want to hear who a lot of people point to as someone that came after him, someone who had the career he was supposed to have. You mean to tell me he has no interest in seeing what other people call the best? You don't want to hear none of those songs, but you heard push-ups, and that's where you were like, yeah, I think I'm done here. Rick Ross, I said, you don't want to hear nothing from Kendrick. A lyricist? Huh.
Because that's exactly how it was. He said, oh, I heard the push-ups, and then I heard the Ross, and that's like, that's it? No, what you think about that, man? Let me see if we can hear you this time.
Okay. That's a load of crap because
You're a little far away. Can you get closer?
Yeah, that's a load of crap because he knows if he wanted to battle Kendrick, he knew he knew where to find him.
You know what I'm saying? Like, say the word. Like, I think people point to the control this.
Right.
I think recently we found out, you know, the live where they were kind of going back and forth. Like, Lupe has a reason to want to say something, but like, don't get off the podcast mic and get in the booth. Like, he could have said, honestly, he could have said everything he said this last week in a rap, and it would have been, we would have taken it completely differently. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
Because he had all that smoke for Koala, and Koala shut him down.
Absolutely. And like, we can keep going on with this video. I think I'm gonna move on to the next one. Y'all see Lupe joins the chat with this one. And even Koala talks about it a little bit later in one of his videos. But like how, like, from this moment on, like, it's like minute 12. Where we at? We at the 8 minute mark. And then from there, like, all the way towards the end, like, this was like a 3-hour live. This is a lot of Lupe just going back and forth. And they ended on a good note.
Yeah, you didn't see Read My Soul's. You didn't see that. You didn't see his live, did you?
Oh no, I did. I'm gonna get to it. Let me show y'all something. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this.
We told him up in that tweet.
Yeah. Reed didn't even want to put him up on stage. Like, Reed pretty much ignored him. He was also like, all right, I see Lupe in the chat. That's what's up. He kept going. But let me get to the next video. With the next one, I'm gonna kind of go into. So he started off with Curtis King, with this whole live thing, you know, a couple years ago, and then that was in July of 2024, and of course we all know the history about with him and Kendrick and all of that. So it's just the central parts of this back and forth started off about Kendrick, but then like it's been how the content creators and Kendrick's fans have been bombarded with his what's the word? Because I don't think Lupe is jealous. I don't want to go so far as to say it's jealous, but I mean, it might be like a bit of depression. I think it might be some depression or some,
and a little bitter.
It's some mental. It's like a mental, emotional. It's almost like grief. You know what I'm saying? I think he's grieving what his career should have been. You know what I'm saying? And like his pivot into academia has kind of like replaced that acceptance or that notoriety of his talent. You know what I'm saying? That he felt like he didn't get from rap.
Yeah, and Kendrick is reaping all the benefits of it.
And so we can't see it because I'm not a member to APSA. But she made this video back in January of 2025. Did you ever get a chance to see that? Where and he felt some
Yeah,
type of way about this.
yeah, she played it last night.
Okay. So she plays it on her live, like, but you gotta
Yeah,
like you can't see the video. Okay. And so like it was a back and forth with her and Absa for those that don't know. Because you know, a lot of people, not just Absa, feel like you know AI is going on, it's going crazy. It's kind of doing a lot of things with society, with the, you know, the culture, the community, and like feeding our information, feeding our culture, feeding aspects of our culture into, you know, artificial intelligence. It's a lot of people that have, you know, cause for concern with that. And so I don't know how everything went down. He says she sent emails trying to get him fired. She says, you know, she was trying to, you know, have a discussion through the proper channels because she didn't want to get into a back and forth online with Lupe. Very, very understandable. You know what I'm saying? You know, but so at that point, it's a lot of he say, she say from my perspective, because I haven't seen, you know, everything from both sides. So I'm gonna try to as best to remain neutral on the back and forth between her and Lupe as it pertains to the AI conversation and how they both went about it. From there, I really think my problem is how he talks about this black woman.
oh
And
yeah, we all went off on him on that.
it's whatever. She's a woman, first and
Oh yeah,
foremost. And she is a black woman. And so I have no doubt that she has it all documented. I just can't speak from a place of an informed opinion from her perspective. And so I'm just leaving room for error. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I don't believe she tried to get this man fired because that's petty. Like I don't think she's that petty. I don't think
No,
she's that,
I
you know,
I would
she
never
might
do
have
that.
tried to, you know, say some things about what he's doing with the AI,
Yeah,
you know, project. You know, she might have tried to set up legally some things, whatever. But yeah, and even if she did try to get this man fired, I'm pretty sure him being a black man, him being a rapper, teaching at MIT, she is not the first. She's probably not gonna be the
not the
last.
last.
You know what I'm saying?
That
Like
was
you
right.
gotta
Yeah, she probably
pick
won't be
your
the last.
battle. You
Pick
gotta
your
pick
battle.
your
Pick
battle.
your battle.
You know what I'm
Pick your
saying?
battle, bro.
That's
Right.
a whole nother part of the conversation. That is an aspect to what's going on with here. Let's see. We're gonna continue on to the next video. This is another video from Curtis King, where he's reacting to Lupe's response to Apps's video. And so we're gonna watch a few minutes from that. Let me see. I'm gonna add Miss Ashley to the chat. I'm gonna put you on mute real quick, Noah.
Okay.
And we'll go back and forth with both of y'all, okay? Since y'all some of my loyal supporters, some of my day ones, and I appreciate y'all so much. I'm gonna bring y'all both up.
Hey, Noah.
You there, Miss? You there, Miss? Okay, yeah. And so let's get back to this video real quick.
Who don't even rap. It does validate him as a rapper because I expand
How about now?
what it means to be a
Yeah,
rapper
we hear it.
in 2025.
Mm.
That's my whole goal.
That-
Y'all belittle us, y'all look down on us, y'all reduce us to record sales and lists from niggas who don't even rap.
Be mad at the messenger. Don't be mad at the message.
You summarize the entirety of our influence about how many Instagram followers we got and how many likes we got on some video. And I say, no, rappers are capable of leading institutions, leading departments at institutions.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it. I'm pro artist. I'm an advocate for artists, especially independent artists. We need people at the table. We need folks that, first of all, have the knowledge and the information in order to sit at the table and give some actual feedback that's beneficial. But we need us at the table. And what I'm seeing here, it sounds like he may not have all the answers, but he's trying something. And there's way too many people who are like dooming and gloom and like don't do shit at all. And all they do is criticize anybody who's trying something. Because I look at this and I say, you know what? Because we're towards the end of this. It's gonna be a long stream. I'm gonna keep the whole stream up here. I don't give a shit. Thank you so much for choosing to be here. Thank you everybody who's super chatting. Make sure you hit that like button, even if you don't like what I have to say today, just because you want to make sure you know what I'm saying, you tapped in and what the content is. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, he's not going to get every part of this right, but somebody has to be the one that stands out there and does it. He's not the only one. There's many of people who are doing some amazing things. We highlight them on this channel, especially independently, but we're in a time period right now where he could easily be in a situation where he says, okay, after I get the masters back from Atlantic, I don't know if he owns his masters, whatever. He could take his catalog right now and do what every other artist that you see that we're championing, every other artist that we see out here do. Sell your catalog for $100 million. You set for life and you got to be worried about none of this shit. I think what's interesting about this is that when he said that he is thinking 1,000 years ahead, I'm thinking of this and I'm saying, what am I doing?
You know, that's part of the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That even with rap, sorry about it. My baby, she's like, I need some help. But Miss Ashley, even with him being, you know, an innovator, because even with his rap career, he kind of introduced a level of intellectualism that, you know, wasn't present during the time. I'm not gonna say, you know, we had, you know, other MCs, you know, back in the day, you know, that were very like scholarly, Rakim, Cash One, you know, the list goes on and on. But like what Lupe brought to rap during his time, you know what I'm saying? It was definitely like it was innovative.
Different.
And now that
It was different.
he's going into the AI thing, like he deserves credit for being innovative, whether you agree with the AI or not. Like, but he complains. Like, what do you think about this? As far as like him talking about how, you know, his career and how the fans make him feel as a rapper. You
If
know,
you want to
we
be
give you
heard, it's nothing wrong with voicing a complaint or a problem, but pose some solutions and maybe pose more than one solution, one that everybody can understand, because a lot of what he's saying does make sense to me. And I'm not a rapper. I'm not in the industry. So he has us up until a point until he becomes bitter, until he becomes condescending and disrespectful, then he loses me. It doesn't matter that you said something valid 2 minutes ago. So I think he needs to learn how to focus his thoughts and his vision. And that may be the problem in his career too. Maybe he has a vision and he doesn't know how to carry it out the way that Kendrick has. And he's a little upset about that. It's not really about Kendrick. It's about him. It's like a lifelong battle with himself, you know, for real.
I agree. Wow. That's crazy how that applies to him too. And like you said something where oh man, this is about how he's going about it, and I can't think about what you had just said. It gave
Voice
me like
your complaint, but also come with some solutions and meet everybody else that you want to hear you. Like you got all these different fans, you know, you have different kinds of fans. This kind of fan may want to hear this from you. This one wants to, you can't just say, forget everybody. Why don't you try to meet everybody if you want people to have your back? And he doesn't really speak.
Exactly.
There's the difference between him and Kendrick. Kendrick a lot of times speaks for us or as one of us. He doesn't do that. Everything is me and y'all.
Yeah, for sure. Like even like I don't know if you saw it, you probably did, but my other video when we were explaining Oklahoma, how that literally translates to my people and was used it's a term from the Choctaw Bible that translates to the prophet when he's addressing God's people. So for him to name himself God's people, you know what I'm saying? Like that automatically shows
he's
how
with
integrated
us.
he is with us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, and thank you for reminding me because you definitely brought it back up. And we got Long Jazz in the backstage. I'm gonna bring him back up real quick, in just a minute. So he keep popping in and out. I don't want to wear, but you said something about him trying to, I guess, come up with solutions and different things like that. In the spirit of picking your battles, maybe he's trying to solve like too big of a problem. You know what I'm saying? And he's approaching it trying to solve, like he's trying to, you know, eat a elephant in one sitting. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's just like, no, you gotta like piecemeal. You gotta take a little piece here and a piece there. And I think Kendrick is very good at that. Where now that we have like this overarching view of his career, we see how he's approached things differently. But like when you go back and look at it, like it was a little bit here and a little bit there. Like Good Kid, Mad City was for Compton. To Pimp a Butterfly was for, you know, the political expression and black people, self-esteem and knowledge of self. And then Damn was about, you know, him as an individual speaking up for himself. Where he's very strategic with how he goes about it. And not to say that Lupe isn't, but he doesn't.
You can't do it all at once. You have to kind
He
of
hasn't
focus
proved to
on
be strategic.
something.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He hasn't proven himself to be strategic with how he approaches these problems. I think he's very much just reacting and it's chaotic. So let me get back to the video for a few minutes. I'm gonna bring Long Jazz up real quick, give him an opportunity to shine real quick. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna just hang out if y'all want to come back up. I'm gonna just put y'all in the backstage real quick. Okay. What's going on, Long Jazz?
Hey, what's up?
I see you popping
Respect
in
to
and
the
out. I wanted to give you a
platform.
chance to say what's up. Yeah, what you think about everything going on? What we
I
talking
just
about?
want to say real quick, I know I've been in the chat saying a lot, but respect to your platform, respect to the chat. For all right, I'm trying to put this the best way I can. I feel like Lupe is trying to redefine lyricism. For him to say he has not listened to Euphoria or 616 in LA is unbelievable. Earlier this week, Lupe claims that lyricism is just punches and bars. Kendrick, we've all known Kendrick to have
Yeah.
punches, bars, entendres, everything. So Lupe is just very delusional. He's having delusions of grandeur by claiming that there's hundreds of MCs that are more lyrical than Kendrick, while at the same time he is using AI in his classroom to write rhymes for students and shit. It's it's real messy, man. He's trying to redefine lyricism, and we can't allow this to happen as true hip hop heads. This is not
I feel you.
that's not how you rock in a culture. Like
I feel you.
what he's doing is very. It's like it's not colonizer aspect. It's more like he's copping out. It's like I'm so frustrated.
You know what I think it is? I think he's using AI and academia to give him the credit for his career that he wanted from his raps. But that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know,
that's not. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you
go
off.
ahead. Yeah.
Him using academia, he doesn't realize. It's like he's failing to realize that's not grassroots hip hop culture.
Facts.
I mean, he's teaching the shit in the classroom while also denying that same fan base that created it the accumulated effort of having a say or an opinion. And it's totally unfair. So it's like it's like trying to rewrite history, man. You can't. I mean, Lupe, don't get me wrong, I've been a huge Lupe fan from my teens up until like my mid-20s. Once I started seeing certain behaviors he had very Kanye-esque behaviors and meltdowns.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's
Public
crazy.
eye. So by him acting like that, I respected him as an artist, but I can't respect him as a man anymore. I mean, bro is like what, 44?
Yeah, he's 44.
He's oldest. You're older than what the big three was type shit. But you're not producing that caliber of work, and you haven't in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in a public forum when he was in a panel. I think it was on Jalapi's channel, Jason. And I was like, yo, Lupe, you don't even have your master's, because not your master's like degree. I'm talking about his master recordings for The Cool and Food and Liquor.
Yeah.
because of how he got played by his record label. So
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get into all of that a little bit later.
like, he's not as strategic as he claims to be.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. And I think the shift into academia is really him searching for that validation. You know what I'm saying? And my argument is that he should treat the YouTube content creator space the same way he treats academia and to a certain degree his students, because I mean he's a professor, he's a teacher. We all acknowledge his intellectualism, but you know, to make it plain, I'm not gonna say the N-word, but when you run around acting like that, like that's how you come off.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, even with him using the N-word and the B-word and all that good stuff, like that's not a good example of decency, of the highest measure or the highest representation of our people. If you're a professor, you're already putting yourself in a position of not necessarily hierarchy over people, but you have a responsibility to people. You know what I'm saying? You have a responsibility to the institutions that you work with, and you have a responsibility to the people that come to you for knowledge, for education, and to behave a certain type of way. You're basically saying that that's okay. And that's a huge, I have a huge problem with that. So let's hold on. Before we go any further, let me get back to the video.
BET Cypher like 20 years ago.
Huh?
Do you remember his BET Cypher with Pat Poose and Styles P?
No, I don't. We could probably bring it up at the end. But yeah, I'll make a note of that.
Speak my piece in my rant. I'm sorry for being a little explosive, and thank you. That's it.
No, you good. Appreciate you. You ain't even have to hop off. All good.
Yeah, I'm here. Take your time.
Yeah, share some of your thoughts about what we've just been talking about real quick.
You just said something that I wanted to piggyback on, and now I've lost it. Give me a second. Oh God, what was it? I hate when that happens.
Yeah, you did it to me earlier. But no, I was talking about how, you know, his acceptance, him wanting to be accepted, and then how he engages with academia and his students, but it's different when he comes on the YouTube spaces. And it's not necessarily all YouTube creators.
That's what you said.
It's the people he don't like. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't
admitted. He said, when I go to MIT and I talk to these students and I talk to these professionals, I don't talk like this. I don't talk to them like this. He said that. I thought, what audacity to say that you respect the people that are not necessarily a part of the culture or lovers of hip hop. You give them more respect than you're giving us right now. You think that's a bragging point? You think that that's a good thing for you? Like he seems totally out of touch right now. You want love that you don't give. Like that's crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I heard you.
Okay.
I'm switching this audio up a little bit. But no, and like the concept of I am because we are is very integral to us as Black, African American, indigenous people around the world. When we're going up against Euro-centric Western points of view that are meant to, you know, divide and conquer us, like one of the tools that we have is which is built around collective community. You know what I'm saying? And like, not to say that you have to always operate from that level, but that should be foundational. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be
always circle back to that. That's going to be your saving grace, because when everybody wants to gang up on you, how do you think you're going to be able to deal with that? You can't do it all by yourself. You do need us. That's insane for you to think that you can just be a man on an island like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so
I think he sounds to me, you said he sounds depressed. I agree with that. But I also
no,
feel like he is defeated. He sounds like a man that has already lost. And he's
mm,
almost like he's accepted the loss, but he's not going to admit it because that's not cool. You know, I want to
yeah,
still look cool, but like I can't win. I can't. This industry is messed up, and I got to play these kind of games to keep afloat or whatever. And they don't understand that. So, you know, it's almost like instead of coming with solutions and trying to be a problem solver, he's decided not to do that. But he wants the same respect of somebody who's actively trying to do that.
yeah, yeah. And it's sad to see how he's going out. It really is. And not to say that this is the end all be all, but like he's gonna have to shift how he approaches these things. I hope he realizes that. You know, there's a lot of
It's
truth
not too
to this
late.
in what he's doing, but like he need to sit down with somebody and just like unpack all of this shit. I think he got to a point where he did a little bit of it on Culture United, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, I think I have maybe 1 or 2 more minutes of this video I really want to talk about.
Hold off their catalogs.
Y'all
What do you
hear it?
think the investors are doing?
Yeah, we hear it.
What do you think they're doing with these sold catalogs? You think they just gonna try to get them in commercials for the next 20, 30 years, 50 years? No. They're using that for machine training. So whether we like it or not, this is how we do it. It's going to be used to train AI. Especially if these catalogs are getting sold. To me, this seems like a way to not only extend one's legacy as an independent artist, but also to preserve the legacy that you have for 1,000 years plus. I respect it.
Leading the conversation about world and global issues. Rappers have a special technique if they choose to utilize it, and if they choose and are able to access that part of their craft to be some of the greatest leaders in the world, leaders of the world. And you saying that that's just some rap shit? No, I mean it, right? Cat's out of the bag. Language and the mastery of language is one of the greatest things that you can have. You can't point to me another craft.
And I totally agree. That's facts. Like that's the passion. I think that's where we get a lot of this passion from. Like we all understand that. You know what I'm saying? And if that's the goal, then we all need to operate in a way where we're uplifting that aspect of the culture, where we can use this influence, we can use this rap to literally, you know what I'm saying? Build and lift people up and make things happen. What you think about that, Noah?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Craft that sits in the position purely based off language that rap does. Only other piece that I could say it because I'm there, and that's why I'm there, is MIT, because computation is a language.
Once the technology.
Now I cut that part. This is the part where I can't defend that shit. Now Lupe starts to get visibly frustrated. That's one of the first times he called her out. He called her out a name. He called her a B, and I couldn't tell if it was. I shouldn't say that. I couldn't tell if it was him saying that about her or just, you know, when somebody is frustrated, they say it's about language, bitch. But
it don't matter.
You got to be very, very careful how you maneuver these things in frustration.
It don't matter.
I don't agree with that. That was the one thing I cut that part in here. I want to make sure you know that I cut that part because I know somebody gonna be like, here's the reason why Curtis cut that. No, that's what I cut because I thought he was dead ass wrong for that. No matter how frustrated one may get as a man, there's a way that you gotta handle your business, especially when you're talking about women in this field, this male-dominated field of hip-hop media. I think it's very important that you know, we're able to handle these things with respect. So that's something I do draw issue to.
Technology is built, it will.
You know what I'm saying? That's point blank. Period. That ain't nothing else need to be said about that. And I know, you know, he's to your point, Miss Ashley. He's trying to you know, fall back on the fact that I call a lot of women bees, bro. That's the problem. That is a huge problem. You know what I'm saying? Right then and right there. Because if you
Can't
think you
believe
can,
he admitted that. I would have just said, no, I was just really frustrated with her. I don't usually go
absolutely.
there. He was like, nope, I'm doubling down. I call a lot of them like,
Man, and it's
wow.
like this is over a year and a half ago. You feel me? Like, and so him carrying that same vitriol to this past week, knowing that not just Curtis King, but I'm pretty sure a lot of other people don't agree with that, Justin Hunt included. You know what I'm saying? And just
Skip, Deshaun, like
I'm gonna
nobody's
get to
feeling
that.
it.
'Cause, you know, me and Skip have our issues from how everything happened with the Poetic Justice from his channel, and then
And that's
how
fine, but y'all agree
you
on
know.
this.
And
Y'all agree on
honestly,
this.
we do agree on this. And like honestly, it parallels in a lot of ways with how he approached the poetic justice theory and how he was putting me down. And he didn't think that I was going to create content to rebut him. And then now he's upset, feeling like I'm playing with his name. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
That's
very
interesting. Interesting.
it's sensitive though. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna admit it. Yeah, I was playing with your name, but that's what we do. This is hip
Yeah.
hop. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If
Give
we're
everybody
battling,
grace. If you
if,
want grace, you got to give it to everybody too.
exactly. If we're battling or we're debating, you can be mad about me using your name and all these other things, but show me where I was disrespectful towards you as a person. You know what I'm saying? Show me, like, same thing with the koala conversation. He never once,
Not
like,
one time.
he started joning, but we all know that was just joning. Like, he
I
wasn't
mean,
like,
he trolled, but he never
yeah,
got like cussed him out. He never did
he
that.
said
He
he said you
trolled him top
genetically he
notch.
said you like genetically disformed or something, and this shit was funny
Did you
because it
see
was
that?
just
That story was
yes,
so funny. You're like genetically confused in your face.
bro. Lupe was not prepared for that. You know what
He
I'm
didn't know
saying?
what he was dealing with. He thought, oh, this dude a clown. I'm gonna go in here and stun him right quick. Did
Yeah.
not go like that. That's why it was 3 hours. And he really lost. I don't care what nobody said. He lost that whole thing.
To his credit, though, they did come to some sort of quasi resolution towards the end. I think even with the back and forth, a lot of things came out after that later, but how they ended was like amicable. They agreed to disagree. Lupe wasn't messing with him. He
Respect. He
was,
had to respect him after that.
but he was
What
just
you
like,
gonna
you know
do?
what, it is what it is. And so we're gonna go to this next video because we get into Koala. And I wanted to kind of like put the timeline together real quickly because I think do I have the other video or no? So this is Koala's channel for those that can see. And so how all of this stuff came about, he's made a couple videos about Lupe. One of the first ones that I remember seeing was from a live that he did 2 months ago, where he says Kendrick Lamar perfected the craft that Lupe Fiasco couldn't. And so we're gonna look at that because I think that's the catalyst to all of this back and forth. And so even then, let's look at the live streams. I thought I had them up over here. Yeah, I had the lives up. You know what I'm saying? That the one from 2 months ago is from 2 months ago. This is like the past week and some change. The one where the video comes from is from this live: Complexity versus Greatness: The Truth About Lyrical Rap. And so I'm gonna talk about it when we get there. But for the people that are saying, "Oh, he changed the name," no, this is what content creators do. For those that are not familiar with how content creators run their channels, live streams are very prolific because you have hours and hours of content already created that you don't necessarily have to edit before you publish. And so, when you want to piece up pieces of that content, you can literally slice it up and create videos. So we go from the live to the video. And that's what this live is from, or this video is from, where he talks about the technical skills, doesn't sell records, the Lupe Fiasco problem. So as you can see, I don't know if you caught the days, but the live was from 8 days ago, the video is from 7 days ago. So saying that he came up here to change the name and all this other extra stuff, it's not accurate. And it's inconsiderate of how this man makes a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he does for a living. Shout out to Koala. You know, he's literally one of the best out here doing it. There's a reason why he came up on your algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And he's good at what he does. So if he knows I'm gonna do this live, I'm gonna be honest. If I do this live and we get a good moment, it's coming up on my page. I need more views. I'm trying to get to the point where I can make some money off of this. And that's another thing. A lot of the times, the lives you don't necessarily make money off of because you get hit with copyright strikes. So I don't know as far as how the super chats and all of that stuff work, but if you get hit with a copyright strike, you're not getting no money off the views. None. That goes straight to whoever owns the copyright. You might still get your super chats. I don't know. I'm not there yet. One of the bigger channels might be able to speak to that a little bit better. But like even the live stream that he did where he was talking about all of this, now he's not making necessarily that much money off of that. But he's feeding his community. I'm pretty sure the conversation came up because somebody in the community wanted to talk about it. And you can't fault him for his opinion. And so when he did this initial live over 2 months ago, he broke all of this stuff down. For those that haven't seen this, look at the chapters from the video when he talks about Lupe's personality, the Curtis King interaction, the battle rap, conversation, the label struggles and the narratives. He talked about this 2 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So give Koala his credit, man. He know what he's doing and he's good at what he does. So just a little bit, I want to get into a brief little bit of this one video. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we critiquing Lupe's behavior real quick.
Tiptoe Joe just doing shit. Tiptoe Joe is just doing shit. What's up, fam? Okay. All right. I appreciate y'all. If I miss anything, I apologize. Listen, yes, Lupe, it won't let me super chat. I want to be down, but can we talk about the evil G's that's in Jay-Z, Joe Budden, Cam clip, please? What happened with that one? What happened with that one? Tika. It's an evil Genius clip. It's an evil Genius clip. Is that the one that freaking Charles Brown was talking about on his live? Freaking Tika. Boss lady, I see you. Boss lady, I see you over here just doing shit. She doing shit over Twitch. She coming over here on freaking YouTube just doing shit. Boss lady and the whole family. I appreciate y'all. Baby Lily, I'm trying to cook him back. I'm trying to cook him up, baby Lily. I will. I promise you I will. Tiffany, this is your fault. Tiffany, don't bring your ass back up in here, Tiffany. This is your fault. Coco, don't bring Tiffany. Tiffany! This is your fault, Tiffany. You done broke the damn freaking YouTube, Tiffany. Exhibit Alex with the 200. Rain Ray with the 7. Thank you so much. It's having fun with us. Tiptoe having fun with us tonight. Curtis King broke it down. Tiffany.
But that's how he is. You see the interactions.
Stephanie said, hey, Furry. Okay, J Discam on Otis. Okay, I got to figure this out. J Discam on Otis. We got to figure this. We're going to bring up everything that you had said. Lupe, I don't understand you. Koala says calmly, listen, Lupe Fiasco, you be out here listening to us. You out here lurking. You need us. You don't live your own. You don't do
this
your
is 2 months ago.
Whatever crap you be going through, all that freaking intricate shit that we talking about. You come right back here and you need to freaking, join the wave to us reactors, to us freaking making content. And Lupe is always around. He's either in the spaces talking crazy or he's on somebody's live stream talking crazy or he's reacting to somebody's comments or content on their page. Lupe is always around with us content creators. But I want to say something about Lupe Fiasco that I got on my thumbnail. Lupe Fiasco. Judy with the 30-bit said, what happened? I'm not doing this right now. I'm not doing it. Trey in the freaking building. Lupe Fiasco. Judy with the 30 bits. Thank you so much, Judy. Appreciate you so much. Smash that. Lupe ain't been talking about.
You see, he got the screw face shirt on. Just supporting the other content creators. This is who this man is, and I'm gonna highlight it, y'all. I want folks to know, like, no matter what Lupe says, you can't discredit this man just off of how he moves. You know what I'm saying? He moves with a lot of integrity. and I want to celebrate that.
Boss Lady is just acting up right now. I have no idea.
That's why the people showing so much love. He can't even hardly get a word out because people just showing all kinds of love.
Lupe ain't been talked about this much in years. Say thank you. Go crazy, Lupe. You say thank you.
Go crazy.
Say thank you to us content creators making your name relevant again, Lupe, because I promise you. Lupe Fiasco, Boss Lady, thank you so much for the 10. Lupe Fiasco has no mid-range. And we're going to get into that. We're going to slow cook this man. I might get loud. I don't know. I get a little excited when I start dissing somebody like Lupe Fiasco. If you're watching this Lupe Fiasco, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to come in my fucking live chat or my stream taking over because I'm flaming you. Huh?
Did he not let him know? Y'all see this? This is April.
That's prophetic.
This is April. Come on, y'all.
Wow. I did not know that.
Try. Lupe Fiasco raps how he talks, confusing his shit, and does not know how to get to the fucking point. You lack a mid-range. Everything gotta be super deep. Everything gotta be deeper than deep that no one can understand unless you're from Harvard. We did a breakdown on everything about Lupe Fiasco today. Lupe Fiasco sees Kendrick Lamar, and he looked at Kendrick Lamar at what could have been. He looks at Kendrick Lamar with this disdain, with this vitriol, with this bitterness, because he see him and he knows what he could have been. Lupe Fiasco was too smart for his own good, and that ruined his career, and that also ruins his social skills. Lupe Fiasco.
Damn, Koala.
If you study the word "too smart for your own good," it refers to high intelligence or overthinking, leading to counterproductive outcomes.
I'm gonna finish this part where he breaks this part down because this is masterful, and how he really like foreshadowed this back in April. Masterful work. Round of applause.
Such as overcomplicating simple tasks, casual social friction, or making poor practical decisions. He lacked mid-range Fiasco. It often highlights, oh my God, Drake been trying to get by Michael Sis first-person shooter. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar just surpassed Michael Jackson's Thriller on the Billboard. You lying? No, we gotta. Yeah, come on, we just saying shit now. You lying? We just saying shit now, LaQuisha. Hold on. Hey,
y'all see that what he's breaking down too smart for your own good, where it says social friction, a potential lack of social awareness or tact when pointing out errors makes others uncomfortable, as discussed in a Reddit thread. So like he be pointing out stuff, but the things that he says literally goes against everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like if that ain't Lupe's last week in a sentence, I don't know what is.
Yo, Popeyes, I see you in the freaking building, Popeyes. I appreciate you so much. It often highlights a lack of wisdom or common sense. Lupe lacks common sense. He overthinks everything. Literally, he overthinks everything, and I'm gonna get into why I believe that. He cannot just do the simple shit. He lacks the mid-range. He cannot freaking he can't do the layups, and he can't do the freaking mid-range. He has no layup package. He has no mid-range. He only shoots from three. He does not know how to get close. He does not know how to freaking focus on the simple things. He just got in the game just shooting from three.
And real quick, I don't know. Did y'all see Professor Sky's video about this? Shout out to Professor Sky. He's one of my favorite white boys in the space. You know, I don't like a lot of them, but yeah, he be dropping some jewels. And I think he offers another valuable perspective. Him being a white man, Caucasian, so he's not necessarily in hip hop. He didn't grow up in hip hop. He's not black, but then he's also a scholar. He's a doctor. I don't think Lupe has a PhD. Professor Sky has a PhD and he studies language. I think he's a PhD in French. And so for him to study language and then apply that to rap and hip hop, I think he does beautiful work from his stance. You know what I'm saying? He tried to compare the analogy with Lupe being Steph Curry calling Kendrick Michael Jordan and saying he's a better shooter than Michael Jordan. I don't agree with that. I think that was very, while I could see the effort, I liked it more along the lines of like, let me think. AI saying Michael Jordan's shoes is trash. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a shoe and it's like, yeah, my shoe's better. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, just the conversations, the analogies that people are coming up about this, I think is pretty dope. And Koala definitely hit it on the head. He took Punch's analogy of having the mid range, you know what I'm saying? Because it has to translate. You know what I'm saying? You could be the dopest rapper in Arabic, but if I don't understand Arabic, I'm definitely not gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I think a lot of people have been getting at with Lupe, and you know, that's been a lot of the critiques of Kendrick as well. Now we all know Kendrick ain't as egregious as Lupe, but you know, Kendrick definitely goes over people's heads a lot, and it's taking time for him to kind of come down from that to be to where he at. I think he gets better at it. You know what I'm saying? It's not far-fetched to say Section 80 and like overly dedicated and Good Kid, Mad City is more complex lyrically than, well, I we'll say GNX. I'll just leave it at GNX. I was about to say Damn and Mr. Morale, but I can't because just off of how the lyrics were structured makes it more lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, we're getting too deep in the weeds. let me pull back. It's just I need Lupe to acknowledge everybody's perspective. Nothing wrong with him thinking how he wants to think and having his own perspective around these things, but you can't discredit everybody else's perspective because they disagree. Appreciate everybody hopping in. What's up, Crown K? What's going on, Tasha Shay? I don't know. I think I might have said what's up earlier, but I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to these next couple clips. Noah, Miss Ashley, what y'all think? Y'all got some stuff to talk about with this?
I'll go if he can't. You want me to go first, or you want to go, Noah?
No, you can go first.
No, I was just going to say, I think that Kendrick just found a balance. I mean, there's something to be said about being able to do the lyrical miracle stuff, but figuring out how to keep really simple concepts still very like loaded. Cause it's like, it's not that Kendrick has done anything that's subpar that you can't find multiple meanings in, but he's found a way to reach everybody with it. And that's a skill in itself as well. So I think when he talks about lyricism, he probably should give more credit to that. I mean, until he does, I guess Kendrick is always going to be subpar. But no, there's not an album he's done where he's like laced about and gave us garbage or trash or something we don't want. So that's all I have to say.
Agreed. I would say, I don't know. He must have said it probably 30 to 50 times this past week, but you got to land the plane. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep people in the air, you know, with stuff, because at some point it has to hit home. It has to register. And I'm not saying that it doesn't register for some, but like that's how you build the connection with your fans. That's how you build the connection with the culture. People got to understand what you're talking about. And so we have here, this is the live from the clip. And so for those that don't know, let's do a quick little intro for Koala-Tea. You know what I'm saying?
Like the video.
Well, it's a good time. He's showing up to work. He had to make this bread, have a good time while he do it. And I wish we could see the chat up. For whatever reason. Okay. Maybe it'll replay. But his chat shows so much love. Yeah.
And we don't fall back. Stack it off. Blow it off.
And so as he's doing all of this, he taps in with his people. He builds into the conversation. Y'all see he's going through all of this. And then we get to the King Green video.
He got real fans.
This is how the live stream works.
That's it. It's not there.
So we're gonna watch a few minutes of the live
18 weeks
that Lupe got caught up in, and how he felt like this was disrespectful. Matter of fact, I ain't even gonna do that. I just wanted to show y'all
on there
how it led into the live. We're gonna watch the video. Why not? So technical skills doesn't sell records. The Lupe Fiasco problem. The clip from the live stream that was named the Lupe
Lyrics
Fiasco
don't
problem.
sell records. I saw this on Flex Your Mind Network Live. I didn't see the whole thing, but I like how what this guy was saying. And it's gonna play into what's gonna happen during this live, right?
Lyrics don't sell records. That's what this comment said. He said lyricism doesn't sell records. You right? If you think this is lyricism.
Lupe Fiasco. Exactly my freaking point.
Yo. I can see why Lupe was tight. But again, pick your battles. Like, he's just roasted. He's just having a good time. It's his channel. And it ain't no sweat off your back. You could have really just dropped a whole another track or album. And it would have done a lot better for you than this what did he call it? The pressure run? He has a point. You're exactly. He has a point, but he's making it entertaining. And you might not like it, but the shit is entertaining. Like, it's entertaining as a mug, you know?
Exactly my freaking point. I'm gonna let him finish. That it took to be incredible.
There's actually some bars kind of hidden in there, but
while Lupe does have his moments, he don't rap exactly like that. He do be going off the deep end. I tried to listen to Mural last night because I got another theory that I'm coming up with where I think Whacked Out Murals is a direct response to Lupe, because one of Lupe's biggest songs is Mural. Now, I'm not necessarily as familiar with that era of Lupe with Tattoo on Youth, but it could be. It definitely could be. And if you see anything else on my channel, you know I'm not about to discount Kendrick, especially when it comes to dissing somebody. But yeah.
But people think that technical skill is lyricism, like you developing a technical craft, when the truth is lyricism is the personal display of emotion through art.
Say it again. Lyricism, the expression of personal emotions or thoughts in a beautiful and imaginative way, often literature or poetry. So if you think it is technical skill, how I could freaking hold my breath for I got breath control for mad long and freaking squeezing all these words at one time that confuse you, then yeah, you're not gonna sell on records. But as far as showing us the emotion and the poetry and the beautiful thoughts then that's where the lyricism is. Do you know how to display it? Are you bland? Are you just bland? Are you just black and white television? Lupe Fiasco? Do you give any type of emotion into your lyrics? Allow the audience to freaking relate and grasp what you're saying. That way we can freaking enjoy your craft and not stress so much. Or do you make this technical difficulty, complex art form where you want to be the most difficult person in the universe to fucking stand? Where you said, fuck your fans, I don't care. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. My bad.
Of emotion through art, like music or poetry. The key part of lyricism is emotion.
And shout out to King Green too. You know what I'm saying? He's been doing some great work recently with his content, and this was an exceptional video. So if you haven't even seen the video, go back and watch this one. And I think he has another one too. It's like a 2-part series, and I think he even recently said he's gonna finish it up. But nah, this is a valid conversation, and I think him bringing up Lupe is pretty valid. Now, whether or not you feel is disrespect depends on your sensitivity to the subject. And I think it's safe to say Lupe is just very sensitive. You know, nothing wrong with him engaging with the YouTube content creator space, but to come on his live and really like start off with sexy smoke, you gotta pick your battles, homie. Pick your battles. And so it goes on.
Motion. The problem is a lot of rap fans think that
like
the technical skill even is the lyricism.
He is talking to your soul, Lupe Fiasco.
I still just don't think it's disrespectful.
Emotion. You don't give
it's
off
not disrespectful
emotion,
to me.
Lupe. You give off emotional damage. Rap fans be thinking that somebody being extra technical is lyricism. Extra technical with no emotion is just a piece of shit.
He has a right to his opinion.
Emotion. You don't give off emotion, Lupe. You give off emotional damage.
All right. So that's pretty much the gist of this video. There's more to it. Go back and watch it because it's a very valid and exceptional argument. But that's how Lupe got into Koala's chat. And I got to go back. I wanted to go back to Koala's live. I had it pulled up, but I lost it. So then Lupe pulled up to Koala's live. And then we're going to talk about this interaction. Thank you. Because this is when he came in with the sexy smoke.
Nessa with the 10 gifters. I appreciate you so much, Nessa. That same energy. You don't even want me to do this. That's what I'm talking about. I want to just slide you right over like this.
So let's just take a few minutes. You know, we've all seen it, but I just want to be clear about some of the points that were made about the video. How they both kind of came into the conversation, and you know, later on down the line, it definitely kind of gets cleaned up. You know what I'm saying? But there was a little bit of back and forth. I gotta pull it up. I know there's another a clip from somewhere. I have to pull it up on a separate browser. But yeah, let's just watch a few minutes of this and see what happened that started all of this back and forth this week.
And I'm gonna just spin a little bit. This is what I need to see right here. Bet we all here. Everybody, y'all all good? We here. Lupe Fiasco, everybody. Go crazy. He said keep that same energy. He don't even want me to do this part right here. He don't even want me to do this part right here. Everybody clap it up for Lupe. What's good, Lupe? How you feeling?
I'm cool, man.
I appreciate you. It's a little echo. Maybe let me hear you again.
Yo, check 1 2.
I see it's a little echoey. We're gonna make it work though, Lupe. It's probably on my end. Don't even worry about it. We're gonna make it work. It's not a bad echo. It's a little like a reverb type of shit, you know. Something they're used to. So what did you have to say? Do you want me to start off or you want to start off, Lupe?
I mean, you got the smoke.
Okay, you said
smoke.
Okay, you said my name and your mouth have a one-sided relationship. What did you mean by that?
I mean, you always got my name in your mouth.
What's always?
So we see it's already like it's tense. But you can't say Koala just came out of nowhere just being like completely disrespectful. He clapped him up, shouted him out. He gave him the opportunity to speak. You know what I'm saying? Just to get whatever he had to get off his chest. And what Lupe does, he basically flips it and like, hey man, it's on you. You got smoke. So if you come to me telling me I have smoke with you, then I'm gonna show you that I got smoke with you. I don't think that's very surprising, you know, especially when you call it sexy smoke. But yeah.
Every time I come on YouTube, right, your show pops up because you're in my algorithm, I guess, right? And whenever my name is in your mouth, it's always like sexy smoke. So I'm like, what's the problem?
Oh, my problem is I didn't really have a problem with you per se. What I was bringing out was you had,
because this ain't the first time. Like this ain't the first.
Did y'all see him? He was trying to explain it, but he cut him off, right? I just saw that. I don't know what y'all saw. Hold on, let me make sure. I want to be clear. I'm trying to be fair.
Oh, my problem is I didn't really have a problem with
you. Don't have a problem per se.
What I was bringing out was you had,
because this ain't the first time. Like this ain't the first jump, right?
What you did,
you have like a habit of doing this. So I just want to. I normally get people face to face, with whoever it be, right? People get my phone number. They want to do it like this. They want email. So anybody that ever says my name and they have a certain amount of kind of clout or reputation like you, so it's like I just. If we got, I mean, you got 40,000.
He's so excited. You can see it. He is genuinely enjoying this moment. And like, Lupe, you just showed up. You showed up with the wrong energy, bro. This could have been an amazing moment to build. You know, you could have bigged up his battle rap career and how he flipped that into this YouTube space, because that's commendable. That should be celebrated. But you mad that he critiquing your music? He ain't doing nothing different than what them white folks do. Don't think the people that was holding your music from being released, you know, the executives that was, you know, taking advantage of you and controlling your masters, you don't think they were critiquing your music behind closed doors? You ain't have half as much smoke for them as you do Koala right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so I give people the opportunity to smoke. So smoke.
Okay, my thing is, when you said that comment, you said I'm having a one-sided relationship.
Yeah,
is that the same one-sided relationship that you had with Kendrick name in your mouth?
We're not talking about him. He's not here.
But no, no, because you said I have you said no, wait.
So it ain't gonna be as funny. But when he dropped that, is that the same one-sided relationship you got with Kendrick in your mouth? I said, "Fire!" I ain't got the soundboard. I had to do the real life version. But yeah, like that's the energy you came in with, Lupe. No, I know how it goes, Mike. It's okay. Boys, I got this. And so like you can't be mad. Lupe, if you coming up in here and talk about he got some sexy smoke and he show you sexy smoke, what's the problem? You know, like you made it about him having a problem with you. He said when you came in, he said he didn't have a problem with you. He tried to explain the reason for making the content, you know, saying that, you know, he's critiquing your music, and you cut him off. And then you kept saying, "Oh, why is my name in your mouth?" So that's when, you know, he took his opportunity. He's a battle rapper. What did you expect? He used your words against you masterfully. You know what I'm saying? It's so much more than we're gonna be here all day. I ain't gonna go too much more into this video, but like that's just how off of that initial reaction. Lupe, you are a multi-platinum selling artist. You know, you've won awards for your music. You're a professor at I'm not gonna share too much about myself, but I'm an alumni of an institution that competes with MIT for being the best public institution in the nation. There are times when my institution is number one. There are times when MIT is number one. So you're at one of the best public institutions in the nation, getting an opportunity to teach rap, hip hop to some of the brightest minds in this country. You don't need validation from Koala. You don't need validation from people on YouTube. That's another thing. It ain't like you trying to come up and like people are tearing you down, like keeping you from jump starting your career. Your career has come and gone. You've had an exceptional career. You can keep going. No doubt. Definitely keep doing what you're doing. But how you moving like, you know, so you got signed and you never got an opportunity to put your music out. You feel me? And to show up to this man's platform, regardless of how you feel, and to confront him about what he does to make a living, like it's a problem. You're saying he can't living critiquing your music. You try to introduce whether or not he has the credentials to talk about it. You try to use racial slurs to label him, to degrade him. Man, I'm so proud of Koala. When you called him a fuck in, and he just like, you know what, I'm gonna just show off everybody merch. Bro, you're wrong, Lupe. You are wrong. And I hope some of these people that are close to you, like shout out to L from Element Salon, shout out to the company, man. You know, everything with Culture United in the third verse. I hope they had an opportunity to tell you where you were wrong. They did a lot to, you know, promote you and try to, you know, put you back in the good graces with the community. But I hope they had an opportunity to show you where you went wrong and you were receptive to that criticism. Excuse me. Because moving forward, you can't say you don't know anymore. You know, exactly. Shout out to Mickey Facts. We got a little bit more to get to. That's why I'm not even gonna go through all of this live. I wanna, man, when it got to the point where Koala was just pulling up people's merch, I was like, you know what I'm saying? It's so like I'm trying to lower it. Can y'all still hear when I talk? Just let it play in the background. Matter of fact, we can mute it. We're familiar with the conversation. I just wanted to show how he was just bigging up the content creators. For him to call him a fuck N-word in public, you know what I'm saying? In public, not at no battle stage. Like this is a YouTube space. Like he gave people a glimpse behind the curtain, and he didn't have to do that. You know, we appreciate you, Lupe, coming from off your high horse to conversate with little old content creators on YouTube. But his use of the N-word is literally my example of why I honestly just feel we all should just get rid of it. Stop using it. Y'all can hear? Hold on. And because even though these are two black men just having a heated discussion, the more well-known, the more successful, you know, the more I'm trying to find the words, accomplished person in the debate is using derogatory slurs to discredit the other person. He don't know him from a can of paint. You know what I'm saying? He don't have to agree with you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go
Bree, right
ahead.
quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, he acts like people need a resume to speak on hip hop, but hip hop is more than just rapping and rappers. Like, look at Dave Free, look at all these other moving parts. To discredit people because they don't have a rapping background or specifically battle rap background, which is really what's his biggest talking point. Koala-Tea does have that. He actually has documented 45,000 views as a battle rapper. So the very thing that you were questioning kind of blew up in your face. It was a horrible talking point, and he wants to die on that hill. That's insane to me, and I think he needs to just trying to clarify it if he wants to do any. I think he should just get away from the internet. But if he wants to give clarity to his fans, then he should say, you know what, I was kind of small-minded. I shouldn't have said this. You know, this everybody should say how they feel, but I don't have to agree.
Exactly. And do it from your platform. You know, you go on IG Live, you know, and all that good stuff. And we'll get to it in a second, but you know, the other platforms that were more supportive of him, they definitely provided a lot of good insight. The Mickey Facts, you know, for a minute on Rap Roundtable, it was pretty good, and then it just took a left turn. But definitely, Culture United, that was pretty much set up for him to again put himself in a positive light. Everything from that,
they tried to give him a win. Give it to him.
Really
He wouldn't take it.
He did, yeah, man. He basically ran 98 yards and just like dropped the ball on the 1 yard line and started talking shit.
I was mad at Company Man, but then I'm giving him grace or whatever because I know they have a relationship. You could see how disappointed he was. Everybody just kind of looked like they were like, dang, man, come on, man. What are you doing?
You know, and he knows him. And I think he knew that there was, you know, a risk that it could have went that way. And I think Company Man feels some type of way about how Koala handled everything. So he doesn't necessarily agree with how Koala handled everything. But that don't mean nothing. That don't give you a right to, you know, insult this man publicly. And it just made you look bad. And the fact that this brother took that opportunity while you were trying to insult him to just shout out everybody else. It's like, oh, I'm gonna show you how much of a fuck man I can be. Shout out, but he pulled up the Company Man shirt. Did you see that? The red flag from the Kendrick performance? I don't know where.
No,
But he has a shirt where it's like a red shirt, and it's the Kendrick performance from the Super Bowl where they had the dancers and the flag.
And I
He
did
got
see
like,
it, the flag where the
yeah,
people were like in dancing formation. That's a
that's the
cold
company
shirt.
man's. That's the company man's merch. You know
Oh
what I'm
wow.
saying?
He said it takes a while to get it, but you can order it and it might
Yeah,
take a couple months. He was still putting people on while this dude was talking mess about him. He was throwing up everybody's
exactly,
shirt, even people that he's falling out with. So that goes to show this guy, you can't call him disrespectful. He's running his platform the way he always does.
exactly. And it's, man, more power to Koala. He deserves everything he's getting right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to say that, you know, he's is a David versus Goliath type situation at all, but like Lupe definitely felt like this was gonna go a different way, and yeah, I mean, Koala knew. We saw just about 30, 45 minutes ago, like he kind of like foreshadowed / prophecy how it was going down. He said, "You're not gonna come up to our channel and take over," and this is literally what happened. So beautiful. Shout out Big Kish. I think that was just the shirt he was just showing. Big Kish is one of my son's favorites. So, man, he just was showing love to everybody, and it was beautiful to watch. And so that was my takeaway from their interaction, from the initial live, was that it started off with a lot of back and forth, and then it didn't really go nowhere. But the way Koala handled it, I know it pissed Lupe and whoever supports Lupe off, because he couldn't have handled it any better. He didn't back down. He didn't cower, from the conversation. Noah, it says when you're joining that your devices are not connected. So I don't know what you got going on, but we might just have to like sit this one out, homie. Definitely, there'll be more opportunities. But just the way he used that to big up the content creator space and flip that into another aspect of the conversation. I think masterfully done. And no matter what anybody has to say about that, that just shows who this man really is. It is evidence of his noble, righteous character. And you calling him all kinds of FNs and saying he's spiraling and he ain't, man, talking about he can't get no job. Like, what are we doing, Lupe? Like, I wanted to know, if I would have had an opportunity to have a conversation with him about this, I wanted to know, what do you hope to accomplish with all of this? Because it's not serving. If there's anybody that this week did not serve, is Lupe Fiasco. And so this is the transition to the next back and forth. In between Lupe pulling up to Koala stream and then pulling up to Jason stream with Skip from We Are Deciphered. There was, I think, some interactions in Absa's chat where he got a little disrespectful about Absa again. And so shout out to these brothers for even having the courage to bring Lupe up, but then sticking to the points of the conversation as best they could. I do want to take a moment to show love and give Skip some credit. I know we've had our differences in the past, but what he did, standing up for Absa, with this interaction, that took a lot of courage, and that took a lot of fortitude not to waver from that point. Even he wasn't even on his platform, but he still respectfully took that time to make that point. And it was a valuable point, that there's no instance where you should ever call a woman out of her name. Forget calling her the B word. But as a man, there's no point where I believe you are justified ever calling a woman out of her name. You can feel how you feel, but the moment you take it to calling this woman a B, it becomes something else. And you have to know that. You have a father. And I don't know if your father taught you that, Lupe, but I grew up without a father. And the respect and the honor that I have for the women and the men that raised me, you know, will never let me do nothing like that. And that was the point Skip was making. And so shout out to Skip. Much love to you, brother. Much love to We Are Deciphered. They still got me blocked on their channel. And I understand, you know, but it is I'm not above, you know, calling out righteousness, celebrating, you know, doing the right thing. Because as men, we got to do better about that. As men in hip hop, rappers, we need to do better about that. Like there's no point where we should ever be disrespecting our women just because. And if a woman makes you feel about a certain type of way, bro, do some push-ups, take a walk, read a book, do something else. You literally can do anything else but put your hands on her or call her out her name. And you are completely justified. You know what I'm saying? So that's just on my on everything. On my mama, on God, on hip hop, on everybody. Like that's another instance, Lupe, where you fell short this week. And you know, I get it. You did say you weren't gonna call her that no more, but carry that forward to every other woman. And that goes not just for Lupe, but every other man. Whether you're a rapper, a content creator, a politician, shit, even a trans woman. I feel some type of way about you calling a woman out her name. You know, more
I
power.
heard that he said he was only gonna stop doing it for him.
Yeah,
Just
like,
for him, like not because it's right or because it was wrong, but because I like how you're checking me right now and you about ready to leave the stream on me. For you, I'm gonna do this. So what does that say about the people he gives energy to? Not the people who show him love and respect, but the people who check him or maybe disrespect him or something. That's where he goes. It's almost like he's a glutton for like torture or something. I don't know.
Man, he's confrontational. Like he won a battle. I wish I'm not gonna show it, but in the Mickey Facts live, bro, he was like, he had like a brass knuckle or something, and he was just punching his hand. I'm like, bro, go to a boxing gym. It's like spar with somebody. It's okay. Like, I'm sure if you want to fight somebody's gonna fight you. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of people scared to battle Lupe. I don't believe Kendrick is one of them. Just say his name. Just get on the wax and say his name, and that'll solve all of this shit. You know, you ain't got to call Absent no B. You ain't got to call Koala no FN. Like, yeah, get behind the mic and say it with your chest, and leave the podcast mics alone for a minute. You know, you lecture at a university, so you scratching the itch of being heard, bro. Like it ain't like you know we know you want to be heard, bro, but put it on the wax. We'll digest it a lot better if you just put it on the wax. Not to say that it's cool, but yeah, you can call women all kinds of bees on wax and it's taken differently. But yeah, man. I love how they handle this. So let's just watch a few minutes of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got y'all. We good.
All right, what's good? How you feeling?
I'm Gucci.
Yeah. So what's your perspective? What's your stance? I know you've been here for a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? So what points would you like to speak to?
Yeah, where you want to start?
Okay, so number one, right? This is where I want to start first and foremost. The comments about the credentials, right? So
yeah.
Earlier in that live, at one point, you had said I was in a battle between the fans and the label, right? So from that perspective, you was basically saying the artistic direction that you were going in, right? Or was it like what did you mean by
that? Well, I mean, when you say bringing up credentials, you mean when I was just while we were talking about credentials, and that was like an example, or why was credentials even like a thing in the conversation period?
So
let me give you the backstory. Right? Let me give you the backstory real quick.
Go ahead.
So I guess Koala-Tea did a you funny. Koala-Tea did a reaction video to this other dude, King Green.
Yeah.
You know who King Green is?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess King Green did a video. King Green, you get me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So King Green did a video where I guess he was talking about like lyricism doesn't sell records.
Okay.
Okay. So Koala, I haven't seen that one. Koala-Tea did a reaction video to that video.
Right. Right.
Okay. So when I've only seen one other Koala-Tea video in my life, maybe two, because they pop up on my. Y'all still there?
Yeah.
Y'all still there?
Yep.
Yeah, let's cycle that for a little bit. So every time I see his video, because it's just in my algorithm, because I get tagged. Like I get tagged. That's how I seen yours. Like I was tagged in it, or my name is in it. So I'm going to Instagram. I'm sorry, I'm going to YouTube to look for whatever, and then these come up. So I just click in them, and it just be like, wow, disrespectful, vitriol, talking mad shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't respond. I keep moving. So same with this one. So I tap into it because it says like,
Lupe Fiasco gets cooked for hating on Kendrick.
Nah, I don't know what it was. Whatever the title of the video that he did where he's reacting to King Green saying something about lyricism doesn't sell records.
Right.
And so when I clicked into that video, he brings me in the video. So I don't even know if the King Green dude even mentions me. I don't know what that video is. But Koala was like, yo, he's like, yo, Lupe Fiasco, he talk his shit, right? And to be clear, I don't really fuck with him. Like he's kind of a piece of shit, right? So
if he's a piece of shit, why are you joining his live? You know what I'm saying? And whether or not you agree with the point, he was making a point. You know, like it's just beyond me, Lupe. You didn't have to do it. You got so much other stuff going on. Like even showing up to Deshaun and Skips. I feel like this was an opportunity for him to clear his name, but then he just handled it so bad.
So I don't have, to be honest, I don't know him. Everything that I know him, he's talking crazy shit about me. So I only listened to like maybe 30 seconds before he started doing that Lupe shit. And so I just kind of go in the comments where it's like, yo, first of all, I've sold 20 million records. Right. So is dude talking about lyricism doesn't sell? Like lyricists don't sell? Like, because I know the Koala-Tea nigga is using that at me. Like I don't sell records because my shit is too complex. That's kind of his play on it. I don't know what the King Green dude is talking about. I just know what Koala-Tea is saying. Right. Okay. So I'm like, I sold 20 million records. I sold 20 million records. So whatever the argument is and however you want to ratio it and chop it up, it's like lyricists sell records. Yeah. Like, that's not like, but I don't know if that's the King Green dude's perspective. Like, I don't know if he's pushing from the way, but I know what Koala doing. So anyway, the credentials come up because Koala-Tea is like, yo, you should rap like this. You should do this. Your records don't sell because of that. You don't do this because you don't do that. So I'm just kind of like, yo, what's your credentials to tell me like how I should rap or how I should like structure songs beyond just being like a fan?
I'm pretty sure that when he tried to get to that point in the video, Lupe, you cut him off and did give him an opportunity to express himself. I'm going off of memory from a week ago, but if memory serves me correctly, that's how that went down. Sorry.
And beyond like the barbershop, beyond that, but like seriously, what are your credentials to tell me? And again, I don't really engage with the YouTube shit like that. I might sneak in the comments, say something jazzy, but I don't really like engage. But because he kept saying my name, I'm like, let me engage this nigga in the comments, right? And then it's like, yo, you talk all this shit about me, right? Like, what's your position? Like, what do you have? Like, what you got going on for you? Like, fuck me and what I think. Like, what do you got going? So that's where the credentials came up. So that's why I went through that list of like, so what have you done? What have you sold, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Versus me just trying to like stunt on him. It's like genuinely like, yo, bro, you telling the nigga that my shit too complex, and that's why I don't sell records. But you've never sold any records.
Okay.
So how that relates to when you talk about like the battle.
So I'm gonna try and find a place to skip ahead a little bit, because Skip had to go out and come back, and then they got into the conversation about APSA.
Write some shit for NFL. You could be writing for underground, and I'll see you. But like,
sorry, y'all. Bear with me.
And there's certain things that I know my fans like, right? Or that the radio likes, that my fans not gonna like.
Right.
And so it's about finding.
You go down a certain tunnel, it gets harder and harder for a mass to follow you. You feel what I'm saying? So like, let's say, because you had a quick
how to make records, and he made funny records and weird shit that people in Detroit are like, what the fuck is this, right? But he's catering to a specific audience for a specific
Appreciate
goal.
y'all. I'm
right?
trying to find
Once that's
this. I do
solved,
want to
once
get
you do that, and everybody
Skip
has their own metric of
his
success
moment.
for what they think is success for them,
You know,
right? For some people, they just
Throw
want
him
to put
some
out an
love
album.
on the
Some people they want to
platform.
sell gold. Some people want to just go platinum.
He made some great points.
I just wanted my second album to not be whack. That was my whole goal as a rapper. Make sure I don't have the sophomore jinx, right? And if I can get through that, I'm good. Everything else is whatever. So for him, it might, and again, as a case study, I don't know this for sure, and you tell me if I'm wrong, it might be like, yo, he's done so much in these other spaces that he just want to rap like that.
Right.
He's delivered to the. He's delivered to. Go ahead.
Okay. And I get that. I was making a point earlier. It was like, okay, I kind of look at it like a tunnel, right? The further you go down a certain tunnel, it gets harder and harder for a mass to follow you. You feel what I'm saying? So like, let's say, because you had a question earlier about like what's the pros and cons about going super lyrical first album, right? So you drop on that super lyrical, super technical, you amass a following. Let's say you continue to try to top that in that same realm. There is a higher level of potentiality that it's going to be harder and harder for more and more fans to follow you. And the further you go down that road, or just any given road, it just makes it harder and harder for people to follow you, right? So with the point that I was making about Eminem, it wasn't even necessarily Eminem, it's just a particular style that he uses. And a lot of non-melanated rappers tend to pick that version of Eminem to try to emulate the most, right? They're ignoring like the Mockingbirds, the fucking the America, what he did on Renegade, just the whole Eminem show, Marshall Mathers. They just go straight to fucking kamikaze forward to current, and they miss all of what made Eminem, and they just pick up on one specific particular point. And at that point, it's like, okay, you're missing all of the essence and only the technicality, so it's harder to be received because you're only being technical. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where King Green was going. That's where Koala was going. And I think since you didn't get a chance to get to all of that shit, the point was missed, the disrespect was consumed, and y'all just butted heads going disrespect for disrespect yesterday. So, like I said,
but I feel like go ahead. I feel like even with that, we did get to that. Like we did get to talk about complexity. Like I'm telling you the same thing I told him yesterday, right? Like it's demographics, right? You make these kind of decisions, right? We talked about I literally said to him, what's the pros and cons of going super complex on your first album? Right? That's a question that I asked, like my student. That's a question I asked you. You kind of just answered it, right? Like you go down this tunnel, it might be. I'm make it even better. Like it's a heavy cognitive load to carry that amount of density, right? Song for song. Right? There's gonna be some attrition. Like you're gonna have to take some breaks. So even hyper technical rappers who are like my homies, I won't name drop because I don't want to do that anymore. But for hyper technical, the most hyper technical, they still have certain projects that they come off the gas. But they're known for hyper technical, like their whole fan base. Like there is no radio records. It's all technical all the time, right? And even they kind of step back to take a break, because you can't tell that emotional story, right? With this hyper technical style. Now, Koala is assuming that I don't know that, because the way he talks and the way he talks about me and to me, he's assuming.
I don't think that Koala assumes that. I think you didn't give Koala really an opportunity to express his points about the points that he was making about your music, and you went into it with like some blinders. Because even look at Jasan's face. You know what I'm saying? Like Jasan is like, I don't know if that's right, Lupe. You got to give him an opportunity to speak his piece as well, and you never did. So you never. And if we're being honest, you didn't even approach the space from a place of I'm going to be receptive to what this man has to say. You went in there with your guns ready to go. You was guns blazing. You kicked in the door, waving the 4-4. So
I'm some dumb nigga, right? Like it's like I understand all of the pieces and parts. I understand all the pieces and parts because I've been doing this for 25 years. I've been in all those spaces, right? I've seen all those things. So there's to try and tell me what I should be doing. Again, that's what it goes back to. The credentials. That's the first question you asked me, Jason, right? Who are you to tell me that? I already know that. Now what? Why are you doing this? Like, what's the point? Because it ain't about educating me about something that maybe you didn't know I know, but I'm gonna let you know, right? From experience, from just putting albums together and doing the regular work as a rapper, I understand that. And then being a teacher for 5+ years, actually more than that, teaching at Sosa. Like I've been teaching this for almost going on a decade, right? And some lessons, some lessons you can apply to yourself, and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you take risks, sometimes you take chances. Sometimes you create records for the sake of just doing something interesting. He brought up Cake because he don't like Cake, right? He don't like the song on Samurai called Cake. He feels it's like super technical, and that's the example that he uses. Or he used Mural, right? And this is him yesterday. This was clear. It's him bringing this up. And it's like, yeah, but Cake is meant to be the hyper technical, hyper fast record on the album because everything else is really slow and jazzy, right? So you want something to kind of break the monotony, and that's what that record represents. But we didn't get a chance to do that because it's the funny, disrespectful, like you said, intelligent shade, and I'm going to respond in kind because I'm just a mirror. I'm that nigga too, but I'm also this other nigga.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or is this
okay
tomfoolery?
Okay.
No. So look,
it's tomfoolery, Lupe. It is tomfoolery, Lupe. You do not have to do this. Like, what did you hope to accomplish? What did you hope to accomplish? I'm gonna pull it up over here because I just need to. I just need to. That's why I named the video what I did. Because at what point is this man gonna recognize you contribute to your own problems? Oh yeah. What is that? Oh. Okay. Yeah. You gotta pick your battles, man. You gotta pick your battles.
This is my thing. I never, it's not that I didn't understand where you was coming from that perspective of, and I said it in the live, right? I said it in the live. I can understand why somebody would say, look, I've sold this amount of records. I've toured this amount of states or this amount of countries. I boom, boom. So blah, 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 right? And then I already made the point of wondering if that applies to the fans. I feel like you gave an answer, but it was kind of like, you know what I mean? But my thing is this. The number one thing surrounding this whole thing is how you're perceiving what somebody is saying, right? Which is why
disrespectful and mixed in with like all of the other shit, everything that the people pile on to me, right? I've worked with it in many different capacities and spaces. My students work with it; they build AIs, the whole thing. But I think it was about me talking about
it was endless loop.
Artificial intelligence, endless loop, right? And you don't know what she did, and she's never gonna tell you.
What a woman creator. This is you. And after this, just
so I'm trying to get the point. Talking to Skip.
But anyway, did you get that?
You started skipping right at the end.
Did you hear me or no?
You was landing in it.
Right
oh, I was done.
Okay.
Okay. So real quick.
All I was saying is like, no, go ahead.
Okay. Good. Hopefully, once we get all of the instances of unfavorable interaction out the way, we can start to like build on the hip hop. There's one more instance that I have to ask you about, and after this time, depending on how I go, I can dip, but I have to do this. Okay.
No, you good, bro.
Okay.
What are you talking about? Stay here.
Okay. So
you better throw a grenade and bounce.
I'm gonna stand on mine. But yeah, for sure. This don't even have to be long. I just got to make this point because, like I said, the first thing was about addressing, an interaction with a male creator, and now I want to do one with a woman creator. This is part of it where I have to like if I don't say nothing else, like I said,
you talking about APSA?
Yes, bro.
You talking about APSA? Yeah.
Name, bro. Like
fuck that lady.
Like, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that.
Nah, fuck that bitch. I get that you do and you had to do, but nah. You don't know what she did. You don't know what she did, and she's never gonna tell you.
Okay, so let me say this.
But Lupe, regardless of whatever she did, you the one online calling her out her name. You the one with the career. You the one with the position of authority in hip hop and in academia. You can't. You coming off childish too, bro. Like this is the type of stuff my sons do when they don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you called that woman out her name, and that is not okay. You talking about some? You don't know what she did? It does not matter. It does not matter. You can say we simping or whatever you, man. Common decency and respect. You should have enough respect for yourself, for your mother, for every other woman in your life, not to call this woman out her name.
When we're discussing the use of platforms, right? And the whole meeting disrespect with disrespect, or looking for a place to create common ground, don't you think that cuts off the ability to get to that, or how you'll be perceived by calling a black woman a bitch with your profile?
Skip. How well do you know Apple?
Quite well.
Okay.
I know
and it doesn't matter.
personal level than I know Koala.
It doesn't matter
You know
how well
on a more
you know.
personal level than you know Koala, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I tried that. I reached out. She was on. I forgot what it was for. I don't know what instance of publicity that blew up that it became a thing. But I think it was about me talking about
it was Endless Loop.
Artificial intelligence. Endless Loop, right? Endless Loop. And I seen people. I know people have an adverse relationship to AI, but AI is all type of different things. It's not just music generation. Like it's all type of inputs and things for it. I'm at MIT. That's why AI was created, right? Back in the 50s. So I'm immersed in it. Like it's part of the curriculum. You know, I address it in both ways. Like how do you behave as an artist in the AI age? And I've done whole talks on this, right? What is your response to it? How do you use it? How do you actually properly say fuck it? Like we're not using it, right? Endless Loop is just one project that has to do with me. And I've done multiple AI projects. I've done some with Google, I've done writing assistants.
And we did that, Lupe, but that's not his point. I don't even want to keep going with this. They got to the resolution. Y'all please go support Jason. I love the name change, by the way. He's always been dope. Formerly Jalopy Bungus, but you know, the artist formerly known as Jalopy Bungus is now Jason Amaru Speaks. And this was a great interaction. So up until probably the Mickey Facts live, I really enjoyed this live. I feel like we all kind of walked away with a little bit of what we wanted from this live. Lupe got to have an extremely in-depth conversation about the technicality of hip-hop. Skip, you know, brought up the disrespect towards APSA and was able to get some sort of resolution from Lupe, albeit still very, very childish. It was, you know, very, very short with him saying, you know, for you, even though this you don't know that man, for Skip, he won't call her a B no more. And so you know, I think we took a step in the right direction with this one. And so shout out to Jason and Skip from We Are Deciphered for handling that exceptionally. You know, Lupe wasn't as disrespectful when he came and said it live. So obviously you see what can happen when you have an opportunity to build. And so going on to the rap roundtable. Now, this was an interesting interaction because you know the rap roundtable, if you follow those guys, they all they do is talk about raps and bars and hip-hop culture. Before that, I was in the live earlier with Read My Soul in his chat, and I want to say either Noah or my other brother, was it Jazz or something like that. When he hopped in, he was talking about Read My Soul's chat, and I got to give Read My Soul props because he wouldn't even entertain Lupe. He was like, "Oh, Lupe in the chat," where he just kept talking about what he was talking about. Because he kind of was like, "I'm not, you know, I'm big on protecting your energy." And so, as much as you know, you may want to interact with a celebrity and do all this other stuff, if you don't feel like he's gonna provide anything constructive to the conversation, then yeah, you gotta maintain your space. You gotta manage your space as best you can. And so we're gonna play a little bit of it, but even with the rap roundtable, they were having a great conversation around the bars, and then they just got to a point where Lupe and Jarv had to let him go. So I think we got about 5 minutes. We're gonna watch this little interaction. There was more that they said earlier in the live, which was dope. But and he was on there for a little over an hour, it looks like. But yeah. He just be real long. and like Koala say, he do not get to the point. he'll walk all the way around the point, and you just be sitting there like, are you gonna answer my question? Or are you just gonna talk about what you want to talk about? So
right.
I think Drive had
a
enough.
concert. So it's actually a beautiful thing because it allows you to venture into multiple places, but it also, you can isolate. You can tap into, like at that radio station, they have one customer that they're chasing. Everything else is innocent bystanders or strays. But we're focused on this.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can capture this customer, then I could pay your salary and you could pay your rent. Right? If we don't get this customer, we're fucked. So when I say that albums are demographic exercises, it's you as an artist going in and saying, we're going to try and get this market with this song. We're going to try and get this market with that song. We're going to get this market with that song. We're going to get that market with that song. Right? It's an art to it. People who have great management teams really pull it off really well. Drake is probably the best at it.
Come on, man. You have to know that you sound a certain type of way, bro. Why are you even bringing this man into the conversation? Nobody wants to talk about Drake right now, except you. Like, you holding him up like he gonna shield you from the backlash. Well, if I mention Drake, that could validate what I'm trying to say. No, it doesn't. It makes you look like a hater, bro. How you gonna sit here and say Drake's the best or something, and you've had all this opportunity to talk about how Kendrick is just so great? I haven't heard him mention the Grammys, the Super Bowl, the tour, the pop-out performance. I haven't mentioned not one thing celebrating Kendrick's success over the last couple of years. Now, I think he might have said something about Mr. Morale, but I'm talking about since the beef. You had all this, won the Super Bowl, and Nas the only one to congratulate him. Lupe, why you ain't congratulate that man about his Super Bowl? You know how important it was for that man to be on that stage. When you were on a similar stage, we know what you did with it. You took that opportunity to disrespect the president. And Kendrick, while he didn't necessarily disrespect the president outright, he stood on business, bro. He stood on hip hop. He paid it forward. He didn't make it all about him. He made it about the art form. He made it about the culture. And that's what you be missing out on. And so for you to talk about Drake and big him up like that, like you're missing these aspects of the culture that we're all talking about. And I don't even want to harp on Drake, but just somebody has to tell him. Just like you don't want to talk about Kendrick, nobody wants to hear you talk about Drake. So stop. Just stop doing it. You can talk about all the battle rappers you want, but nobody wants to hear you talk about Drake.
I'll give you an example. Really, 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 really good. What I base all of my albums on is Black on Both Sides from Mos Def. Right? The range of where he was going and all of the things that he was speaking to. That's why he can tour for the rest of his life all over the world.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the one I miss, Fat Booty.
So the difference between just rapping, right, and then going into an album space is you're crossing over from just being a purely expressive creative thing, because you have to make a lot of sacrifices. Like you have to do some things artistically and put some borders and guidelines on what you do for the greater good of what we're trying to accomplish. And that may be the greater good of the record label. Right. And they tell me that, like, I've been told that, like, bruh, we need to succeed because nigga, we got to pay the bills.
All right.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
100%. So hold on. So considering you understand all of this,
You understand how the demographics work. You understand what's necessary, how people consume the music, so on and so forth. You cannot be surprised when niggas raise their motherfucking eyebrows when you make certain comments, even if you are responding to it, because it's all part of the ecosystem.
Jarvis
right.
is
So
me right now.
I do study cognitive science the same way you have a psychology degree, and what you
Jarvis
just did
is
was
me
switch it
right
up.
now.
And I'm gonna point to exactly because you just said you just told me wait
how they receive things,
wait
and you still say things. And
when I asked you
what you said,
I'm very clear and I'm very focused. When I asked you about demographic exercises,
I know this man did not just say he's very clear, very focused. This shit giving me a headache. I need to step outside real quick. I can't believe he said that.
Things
wait,
and you still say things. And
when I asked you
what you said,
I'm very clear and I'm very focused. When I asked you about demographic exercises, you was like, you didn't know what that was. And I just spent the last 3 minutes explaining to you why albums are demographic exercises.
And you still didn't answer his question.
Based on your explanation, that makes a lot of what you do not make sense to you.
I'm not finished. The majority of people who you just said when I speak, I'm assuming that they don't know either. So they're not gonna
highlights the hip hop.
They're not going to right. They're not going to respond to it the same way.
Nobody's as smart as you, Lupe. We've established that.
Good night.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What's that,
man?
Once you break down the whole game, you understand what is A and B and C all the way to Z, then you know exactly how the public will respond based on the things that you say. I do. Before you said it.
I do, but I also know that it's certain demographics. It doesn't matter what I say because I didn't say anything. I didn't bring up that. I didn't do that. Y'all brought that up. So there's nothing I could do about that. So because I didn't say it. Now, if I would have said it, it'd be different, but I didn't say it. So we're in a position where I'm getting accused of saying something that I didn't say. So if demographics are out the window, my analysis, how smart I am, MIT, all this other little shit, it don't matter because at the end of the day, I didn't say it. I didn't bring it up. I don't say it because I know that, because I haven't said anything.
You can't say you haven't said anything after you say you can name hundreds of rappers and then get surprised when niggas be like, holy shit, he just said that. Yeah. You can't do that. You just can't.
Who brought that up? Who brought that up?
It doesn't matter who brought it up.
We already established. Yes, it does. It does.
Doesn't.
Because now your argument is falling apart. Because you just told me that I should be responsible for what I say and the things I say. I didn't say that. I understand that I said that. I understand. I understand that I said that back in 20 whatever, but I didn't say that the other day. I didn't bring that up. He did. Is that why? How are you missing that? You just played it. Let's play the video again. Play the video and let's see who said it first.
Now you want to play the
video.
video.
People are responding to your actions.
He knows that. His agenda. I'm not gonna argue with you. I just told you and just showed you, right? When I went into that conversation with dude, we were supposed to be talking about something very specific. He knew that he couldn't. Stop cutting me off. Stop cutting me off.
Cause and effect.
All right. Y'all have a good night, man. I appreciate you coming out to Brooklyn, right, my man.
Moving on. You can't play stupid with smart niggas, okay?
Joe, you was trying your best to hold it together, Joe. Salute.
You know what I mean? We gotta move
Shout
on.
out to Lupe.
We gotta move on, bro. I love Lupe. I love the back and forth, but now you playing with niggas. You know what I mean? And I can't.
And that's what it was. Like he peeped game. When you've had this same conversation multiple times in the last couple of days, and every time it becomes a whole nother thing. But he asked you about something to do with albums. We didn't see it on the stream, but before I press play, there was a conversation about the albums and making the albums and how that differentiates from battle rap and all that. But he started talking about a demographic exercise, and it's just like, bro, nobody wanted to have that conversation. We asked you a question, and you chose to take it somewhere else. You chose to lead the conversation down a path where you were in control. And so that's what happened when Jar was like, nah, let's bring it back to what we was talking about. It became, well, why you cutting me off and all this other, man, stop. Pick your battles, Lupe. And so shout out to Screw. Just showing how this whole thing, you know, you saw in the other video, Koala was wearing some of Screw's merch. So this thing kind of like took on a life of its own, like almost immediately. And even with what Screw was talking about, what I like about with Screw's platform is that he's a battle rapper or a rapper as well, big into battle rap culture. But he kind of stuck with it from the sense of, let's stick with the facts of what was said on wax. Because, you know, we all here for a good battle, you know, and I think even later on, the following day he brought up, and I could probably show it because I'm not gonna play this clip. I was gonna try to play a little bit of it, but we done been here too long. And we coming up on 3 hours. I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Still got a little bit to get through, but we're gonna breeze through it a little bit. But this other video, which says Lupe Fiasco responded to Kendrick already with the SLR2. You know, it's a decent little track, but you know, he's gonna document the back and forth, and that's what Screw is good for. It's just kind of like the current events in hip hop and what's going on. He did have some stuff, a little misunderstanding with some of the facts around the conversation, but that's to be understandable because the way that it was going back and forth, it kind of got a little chaotic at times. So it was kind of hard to tell what Koala was talking about compared to what Lupe was talking about and the points that they both were trying to make at times. But I just appreciate Screw because Screw's got 1.5 million followers. And so for him to, you know, cover this topic, but then also, you know, shout out Koala, you know, he handled it the way that Lupe should have handled it. Like, Lupe should have just went up on his own platform, pulled up Koala's video, and commented like that. It would have been much better received. But for you to take time out your day to come up on this man's platform just so you can insult him, and then turn around and go to other people's platforms when they point out your shortcomings, you ignore and discredit that. It makes you look a certain type of way. You have to understand that. And so this was a stream with Mickey Fax, and Mickey Fax even went on to was it Ray Daniels podcast and made a couple of comments about what Lupe was talking about, but even how he handled it, and he shared a lot of the same sentiments as Lupe. He handled it in a way where we all understood what he was talking about, but he wasn't disrespectful. And then Lupe joins this chat later on. This is what I'm talking about. Lupe had the brass knuckle. He was like punching his hand and stuff. It's like, bro, what you got going on, man?
But I got Lupe ranked higher from a pen standpoint.
All right, I love Lupe. Food Lick is crazy.
Let's bring it back. Kendrick is an incredible artist, an incredible lyricist, an incredible MC. But I got Lupe ranked higher from a pen standpoint.
All right, I love Lupe. Food Lick is crazy. What's the second album? Because Superstar was on that.
The Cool.
The Cool was incredible. I love that album.
He rap his ass off. Yes.
But at a certain point, I feel like the Force got turned on.
I mean, you're talking about from a standpoint of potentially from a mainstream standpoint, but we're talking about from the pen.
Lasers, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lasers was his most popular album. It's not his best album, but it's his most mainstream popular album. It sold the most.
He can really rap.
He can out-rap Kendrick today.
They not going for that shit.
I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's insane. For the record, I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's insane at all. I don't think it's insane. I think y'all stand. So what I'm saying? No. What I'm saying is this.
What you talking about? That's like that.
I think Kendrick. No. Listen. We're not. This is the situation. No, let me speak. We got 5 more minutes. Let me speak. I want him to speak. Kendrick has been on a run from an album standpoint, unlike anything we've seen since Kanye and Tupac. Right? Yes, like he has an incredible catalog from a song perspective. Okay. And nobody can deny that. That's why he's ranked as high as he's ranked in terms of Biggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and all of these legends. Okay. But from a pen standpoint, when we talk about just writing raps, like just writing raps and actually rapping, no, I got Lupe over him. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. Every day of the week. I think every day of the week. So how high?
Do you see how serious I am? This went viral. Now it's only 10,000 views here. You go on Twitter, that shit is at 1 million. You go on Facebook, it's at 1 million. You go on TikTok, 500,000. And you look at the comments, I agree.
Hey, and everything he said is essentially the same thing Lupe's saying. But he just said it in a way where it just didn't come off like hating. I don't think nobody would discredit Lupe for saying I'm a better rapper than Kendrick. You're supposed to say that. But the whole hundreds of battle rappers better than Kendrick, oh, Drake's the best to ever do it. You setting yourself up more than anything. And so I'm gonna mute it. But they had a pretty good conversation later on, talking about the lyrics, talking about the intellectualism of being a rapper. And I'm glad, Miss Ashley, you still there? If you are, I'm glad I got you. Because this conversation around intellectualism in rap is I think it's bubbling more and more as we move further away from the beef, because that to me is almost like the point of division from the previous era where we ignored or straight up devalued intellectualism. Now I believe we're going into a world where we're valuing not even just like mental intellectualism, but like emotional intelligence. You know what I'm saying? And like a level of maturity within rap and hip hop, because a lot of even the younger generation isn't as familiar with rap as we are. But as we are going into, our late 30s and 40s and 50s, we're maturing with the culture and we're kind of bringing the culture up with us. You know what I'm saying? And so I wonder what some of y'all had to say about that. Definitely, if you can, share some thoughts in the chat. Miss Ashley, if you're still there, feel free.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't mind these conversations and having different views on things like that is perfectly fine. But this whole thing about Kendrick is he's just this, but he's not this. Like, where are they getting that from? Like, nobody's saying, listen to this album or listen to this song made by Kendrick and tell me, don't you think he did this wrong? Like, nobody can give real concrete evidence, because I see evidence of the opposite. Like I brought up nostalgia with Pusha T. That 9s and 10s scheme he did, like the breakdown, I would have never figured that out. But it was like a mathematician. Like, what do you mean? Like, and I just learned terms like constraints from Mickey Fax when he talked.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not a rapper, but when you basically take some type of idea, like I'm not going to use the letter A, or I'm going to use 9s and 10s, and it has to come out to 36, just like the bars or whatever. When you put those constraints on, and then you have to sit down and you have to make that work.
Hold on, y'all see that? Did y'all see Lupe punch it with the knuckle?
What is he doing? Like, it's almost like he's got some type of frustration and he really need to go box. Just go box.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
And see, hip hop or rap is how we basically got off the streets. We stopped fighting because we were frustrated. We stopped
exactly.
doing drugs. We stopped like hurting ourselves and other people. So we put it on wax. Like he's forgetting how to do that. Like all this energy he got would be so dope on a really good conceptual album.
Yep.
But he's not going to do that.
I think I said it in the comments on Justin Hunt's video about the punch conversation they had the other day or yesterday. And I said it'll probably never happen. But if they drop like a 5-song EP with them first 4 songs just going back and forth at each other on each other's beats, I think that would be so dope. And then
he did that with J. Cole. Didn't him and J. Cole like
they only did 2 songs. Like they picked each one of each other's beats, but I want them to go on the same song. So like,
so we can compare, so we can see what you're talking about.
Kendrick picked like Kick Push, and then he spits a verse on Kick Push, and then Lupe spits another verse on Kick Push, and then they come back and they do Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe. Lupe kicks off Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, and then Kendrick comes back and spits another verse, and then towards the end, like they collaborate, they create a whole new song, and like that's just a 5-track.
That's a dope way to take even like a controversy like this and make it work. And it's not like either one of them have been disrespectful to each other like that. So it could really still happen, but he's doing everything to push it away. Exactly. Like the way he's talking. Why would Kendrick want, it's like they say punching down at this point for him to do it. And it wouldn't have been that if he did this differently.
Or like find a way to sit down with somebody on an individual level. Because these panels and these Zooms is not, I need him on a couch. And I know it's opening up and being vulnerable, but like even like Nadeska or he could go to Curtis King or Justin Hunt, like sit on their couch and just give me like a good hour and a half unpacking all of this. Because like what
he can't go to Curtis King. He's done Curtis King and he did him wrong too. Remember?
Yeah. But
so he's kind of actually hurting himself. He's losing a lot of the allies or the tools that could actually be good for him. He's looking at them as enemies and ops, and he's like knocking it all down. Like he's burning the whole house down to make a point that nobody understands but him. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. And so up until this point, it was just him going with the content creators and going on their platforms and kind of like chopping it up with them. After this lyricism conversation with Mickey Fax, that led into the other day. He was on No Ceilings podcast. Shout out to Glasses. He's the, we got to come up with a title for Glasses. Like he's the godfather of the new age of hip hop or something, or you know, I don't want to say gatekeepers because that's Trap's name. But he's kind of like showing us the perspective that we need to be carrying forward. And it's so dope because you recognize him being from that old era, you know, that was really, really influenced by the 90s and the 80s. And, you know, him coming up out of, you know, LA and the West Coast and stuff like that. He has that, you know, connection to the culture that, you know, a lot of people may not necessarily have or understand. But if you've really been a part of hip hop, you know exactly the value that has within the culture. And what I love about Glasses is that even though he's so LA and like he a crib and he's like, he is who he is. Like I don't necessarily always agree with his takes. He still holds space for people to join the conversation, be themselves, and ultimately we all can kind of like share perspectives in hopes of finding some common ground or resolution where we can move forward. Like I remember a couple months ago, I was in his chat and I was following his page a little bit, but then he was having conversations with D1. And like just suppose Glasses Malone and who he is with D1 and who he is, they're very similar. But how they present themselves publicly is like completely different. You know what I'm saying? And so to recognize that and to still, give people an opportunity to, approach the conversation that needs to be had around certain topics, but being able to account for other people's perspectives and still keeping it 100% hip hop, man. He's one of the dopest doing it out right now. And he's played both sides. Well, he's an artist and now he's a content creator in the media space. And I think he adds a lot of value to the conversation. So when we got to his podcast on Wednesday, I think the question was whether or not he should have joined Culture United, the Culture United panel for the conversation with Lupe. And I'm so glad he didn't. I'm so glad he didn't, because he said first and foremost he wasn't familiar with everything that was going on. So we kind of caught up with that in this podcast. But more importantly, he just didn't care. And I think that's very valid, because as much as I care, there's a part of me is like, this is just so stupid. Like, it's really like, we all got invited to a Lupe Fiasco therapy session.
Yes.
And it's like, bro, you got to pick your battles, bro. And like how he even, this is going to, I guess, kind of lead into the conversation of whether or not we feel what Koala did was truly disrespectful, because that's what they were talking about. And even Miss Hummus joined the conversation. Shout out to Miss Hummus. We've had our issues as well in the past. But she's a dope creator in the space as well, and she do show up and show out for everybody. So regardless of what happened between us, I still appreciate how she shows up in the community. And I hope, y'all, she does the same for me. But yeah, she tried to add a little bit of context to what was happening with the live with Koala and Lupe. There was the other sister that came in, KP, who pretty much did the same thing, but was a little bit more animated, I guess you could say. And then Miss Hummus, at a point, some of the time she was kind of getting frustrated. Like, not to say that she didn't relay the points as well, but I feel like just the conversation just got very volatile, because Glasses is taking a stance because Lupe is his homie. Glasses is also an artist in the industry, so he feels how he feels around fans and fandom and stuff like that. But the conversation to me about whether or not what Koala truly did, if what Koala truly did is disrespectful, really boils down to personal sensitivity. Yeah, the Lupe Fiasco problem, it can be disrespectful, I guess. How he handled the reaction when with the buddy rapping all crazy, that he just dropped the sound of Lupe Fiasco. Yes, it can be seen as disrespectful. But
well, my question is, how can you respect battle rap? Like you want to talk about how battle rap is what we should be appreciating, and that's where we started. And there's so much skill and so much he appreciates about that. Well, in the reactor and the content creator space, it's very similar to that. You know what I mean? Making people engage and laugh. It's bars. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like another form of
he's a battle rapper.
It's hip hop. And so he didn't call you out your name. He had a view that you didn't like. It was unfavorable, but he was funny. He made it entertaining. How could you ever be upset with him for that? If he did it on Kendrick, you'd be his homie, right? You would love that. But he could never. So
even the way L was kind of approaching the conversation, where it's like he's being this and he's being that. It's like, y'all sound like y'all tattletelling. Like, y'all really sound like it's what he said was so obtuse that Lupe couldn't help but stand and defend himself. And that is just not the case. It's not the case at all. And not to beat a dead horse, but to bring back up my interaction with We Are Deciphered. When Skip said what he did about how things can be perceived with certain arguments and cognitive bias and all this other good stuff, And that led into him trying to make a point that the people who are trying to validate and prove the poetic justice theory are going about it in the same way that some people would try to validate or justify sexual immoral conduct. I knew exactly what he was trying to say. Just like I'm pretty sure a lot of people understand exactly what Lupe is trying to say. What you're saying and how it's being conveyed based off your intentions and your tonality is not what you're trying to say. And you can be mad at everybody else for how they take it. Just like I'm sure Skip is mad at me for clipping it up and adding it to my videos and putting their name in the title and all that good stuff. But if you're gonna make these statements publicly in a debate like setting where you're making a statement to oppose somebody else's point of view, you have to be ready for any type of response. And I guess you can't even really like discredit or discount the intensity of that response. So like even with Skip and We Are the Cypher, like I sent them videos and clips privately, like, hey man, are y'all gonna say anything about this? Like this was whack. Y'all should say something. Like you should apologize for this or whatever. And like I got ignored. And so I made my own videos about it, right? Now they have a right to feel how they want to. And if they decide in the future to come at me for whatever reason, it's water off my back. Because I knew when I made it. I knew when I made the video that they were gonna feel the type of way about it. And that was my intention. But you can't say I was disrespectful for putting something you said on blast. Especially when I told you what you said was wrong and gave you an opportunity to correct it. And so like even with Koala, yeah, there was smoke. But at the point when Koala pulled you up on his platform, you might not agree, but from my perspective, he was more than willing to meet you halfway. He was more than willing to take advantage of the opportunity to see what we could build from this. But how you engaged initially, how you tried to insult him on his platform, you cannot be mad that he brought up Kendrick.
His nonverbal communication is much clearer than the actual words he uses to speak. We can tell what he really feels and thinks by the way he sits and, you know, the expressions that he makes. But when he actually talks, that's where we get confused.
Exactly. Shout out Diego, man. One of my other day ones. He been in everybody chat going crazy. Racer too. Racer's on Lupe's side, and he been going crazy. And so it's just been funny to watch, man. But I want us to get to some clarity around how we're moving forward. Not to say don't be like Lupe, but even he might not admit it publicly, but Lupe has to admit he could have handled this last week very differently. So let's get into this conversation. I don't know if I'm gonna stay too long in here, but just to show he didn't even like engage with the content creators during this back and forth. This was him engaging with Miss Hummus, and yeah, she's a content creator, but she's a smaller one. And then the other sister who's pretty much just a fan. And so how he's engaging with these fans on these platforms, it's not serving him. And at some point he has to approach going about it differently. Because doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result, we all know what that is.
Gangbanger, he's saying all this, but then his stance is, I'm not being disrespectful.
But those are lies. That's not his opinion. He's spouting out stuff like it's fact, like it's 100% factual. Was it a lie to say that Lupe? Was it a lie to say that? Was it a lie to say that Lupe rapped like that white dude with the man bun? Was that a lie? He didn't say that though. Because he didn't even say that after they showed the white.
No,
Lupe, they showed the white boy rapping crazy. He paused it and said, "Lupe Fiasco." He did not say it immediately afterwards.
Yes, he did. He did. I ain't gonna lie, Lupe, he did.
KP being the voice of reason. Yeah, he did it, but that's not disrespectful.
After they showed the white boy.
Like, that's not disrespectful to me. That's just some Jonas shit. And it would be disrespectful if that was like your homie, you know, he worked with you on the album, or y'all have a real close relationship, and he just went out in public disrespecting you. You don't know that man. Like, why are you so hurt calling what another man does to you disrespectful?
After the white boy started rapping fast, he did.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. All right.
But I'm
Yeah,
saying
he did.
I doubt.
Okay. At the end of the day, I just think
Listen, Miss
that's all I'm gonna say.
But I'm saying my point is, it don't gotta even be disrespectful. Like, if you say something somebody don't like on the internet, you don't get a free pass. Like, it's only a free pass because you're not in person. This is like the conversation I was having with you at iHeart. See, everybody think they got a free pass until it's actually time to cash in the ticket.
I think that goes both ways too. Lupe can't show up to this man's platform expecting it to go a certain type of way. And when it don't go that way, he can't be calling him all kinds of out his name. Lupe can't be mad at another content creator for making a video about how he engages with AI. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not like, she called him Judas. So what? Sticks and stones may break your bones. We all heard that, right? Words should never hurt you. We get it. Sometimes they do, but like, you giving this woman more validity and credit in your life than I think she really deserves. So what she sent the email to? I'm pretty sure at a place like MIT, knowing how some of them, you know, non-melanated people in New England can be, I'm pretty sure she wasn't the only one to email your boss about your job. That's me making another assumption, but like, whether or not she could have definitely 100% sent an email to your boss like, Lupe doesn't deserve this position. That don't give you no right to call her out her name. And we all know two wrongs don't make a right. So yeah, even if she is wrong as hell, guess what, Lupe? You wrong as hell too. Now, what are you gonna do about what you can control? You can't control what this other woman does. As a man, what are you gonna do about what you can control? How you approach this situation? How you engage with the public around this topic? That's what you can control, Lupe. And so, like, I'm definitely like, I don't want to discount his humanity. He's a human being. He has every right to feel how he wants to feel. But you know what? I'm trying to remember how the saying goes. You know, people may think you foolish. People may think you crazy. People may think you whatever. You don't have to open your mouth and remove all doubt. You know what I'm saying? Like, let that shit go.
And that's what I'm telling you. All the shit that's being said, especially like with me, people that's for real, there's going to come a time to cash in the ticket. Everybody is not entertaining. Everybody ain't colorful. Everybody ain't animated. Some of us is serious. And people know we're serious. So they're really careful. Like, it's like I'm telling you, it's certain things I say, like, you felt like, man, you should just cuss, act out. I'm like, if I say that, it got to come with violence. And you was like, why? And I'm like, it has to. Because that's where I'm from. That's how it works. You don't say things unless it come with violence.
I'll let it play in the background.
Those, like, you really don't, in theory, supposed to say it. So if that little dude is up, I never, again, forgive me, shout out to the table. I didn't see none of this. I'm not running around in the YouTube streets. Like, I'm hearing all about this and trying to catch up with it. But honestly, it's not interesting. If the thing is, Ms. Hummus, if you say something disparaging about an artist, I get it. This nigga's a platinum artist. This nigga tours worldwide. 1,000 things going good in his life. He teaches at a university. But that don't mean that nigga ain't no man. that don't mean he not gonna see what you're saying and be offended by it. And he don't have to let it go because you have a YouTube channel. And it don't have to stop once you said what you said on the YouTube channel. And that's how we talking about it. It's not I choose to ignore it, right? It's like that shit not interesting.
And you know, more power to Glasses. From Glasses' perspective, I agree. If it's not interesting for him, you know, leave it alone. It's water under the bridge, sweat off your back. Nobody cares. You know, but for the people that are choosing to engage with it, it's disingenuous to say, oh, Lupe has every right to show up and check somebody based off of what he feels is disrespectful or offensive. But then when somebody tries to flip it on him to check him about how he can be disrespectful and offensive, you can't just have it one way. You want it one way, it's the other. You know what I'm saying? Lupe, you want to be able to control and influence your fans and dictate, you know, how they react and respond to what you do. But let me tell you, your fans are going to dictate how successful you are based off of what you do. You want it one way, it's the other. You know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not, Kendrick is on top right now. When you talk shit about him, even though you may be justified in your opinion, you may feel how you feel. You get some pushback. Don't be surprised. Don't make it like the fans are responsible for everything, you know, going wrong with your career when you had every opportunity to make decisions that would put you on different paths. And then once it's done, not saying you can't feel a certain type of way, but it's done, bro. You got to let it go. There's no reason why you should still be bringing up what your fans did for Lasers and Tetsuya Youth. It was over 10 years ago.
It's just not to me. It's not interesting. It's like I'm just not interested in it.
Who's the other caller?
Okay, he was disrespectful with Skip and he was disrespectful with your son. So what was this big Lou from the west side, nigga?
What's up, Kel? What's the deal, my boy? So
west side on west side, we connect, nigga. What's cracking?
You gotta be on later. Where Lou?
Yeah, I'm talking later on see you shit. Hey, somebody go look at what's the title of the video that he posted with L.
Bro, we see the chat. We see the chat, Lupe. We know you tight about the title.
We're talking about when he was reacting to the other dude's video. Just go see what the title of it is.
Oh, this is Lou. Oh, this is Lou on the right now. Okay.
Now hold on.
He changed it after the interaction.
Hold on.
Wait a
right.
second.
Good thing I screenshotted it, right?
Yeah, what's the name of it?
Oh, what was the original title then? What was the original?
And see, that's another thing I just disproved earlier, how they said Koala changed the title. Sorry about this. Hold on. No, he didn't change the title. For those that don't know, Koala went live. Let me show it real quick. So, real quick. This is 2 months ago. I don't know if this is the first video that he talks about Lupe, but it's one of the early ones. And it's a dedicated stream to Lupe and what Lupe has going on. But from that, we see him talking about Offset, Justin Bieber. There was a whole Drake campaign, Sneeko getting punched. This whole Drake rollout. You know what I'm saying? Got Glasses in there. You know, yeah, he bigs up Kendrick. He talks about Kendrick in a positive light. But again, Kendrick don't do no goofy shit. Kendrick don't do nothing to make you want to talk down on him like that. Unless you're a Drake fan. And you just gonna regardless, you're gonna try to find something to talk bad about. You know what I'm saying? He talking about Kai Cenat, Drake, and the lawsuit and stuff. Drake stealing from other kind. So he going in on Drake. He talking about Future. Talking about Jay-Z, Marlon and Rory and all of that. Akadiddy. Current events with this cousin cheater or whatever they had going on. So like Koala's like, this is what he does. And he every time you see when I scroll past the video and it start playing, what's this man doing? Having a good ass time. You mad at him? This man dancing on stream. Every video. Can't make this up. To the point where this was the video that initially, reacted to the King Green video. All right. And so the title of that was Complexity versus Greatness, the Truth About Lyrical Rap. It was a live stream. Then Lupe joined the live and all that, and then we got everything else this week, right? From that live stream, from this live stream, get your groove on, go crazy, Koala. From this live stream, he clipped it up and made this video. This is a 18-minute video from a 2-hour live stream. He did not change the name. He took the clip and published the clip as a separate video so you can get more engagement, more interaction. That's how content creators work. So L, if you made more videos, you would know that. You know what I'm saying? Justin probably knew that. I don't think G makes his own videos. He got people to clip it up for him, but that's what that was. He did not change the name to try to make it seem like some type of way. He clipped up his clip and titled his clip how he saw fit, which is well within his right as a content creator. So back to the conversation real quick.
Skill doesn't sell records. We don't know. No, she just said.
And then hold on, because I got my comment right here. The live with Josiah and Skip showed the true reactions to the fallout. Lupe dope for engaging with the fans, but he being obtuse and sensitive, and it looks bad as fuck. That's literally like my stance all week. Like, Lupe right to feel how you want to feel, but so are the content creators. And if he's going to engage with them, he got to show up a certain type of way. He can't show up with his chest out like, oh, you talking shit about me, and expect people to stop talking shit about him. It just doesn't work like that.
Still doesn't sell records.
No,
you said he changed it, right? What was the original one? That was the
changed
original title of the video that Lupe had a problem with.
No.
Technical skill doesn't
No, it
sell
wasn't.
records.
No.
We don't
I'm
know.
talking about Koala's video.
That's what we're talking about.
Yes, Koala's reaction video.
He
Koala's
changed
reaction
it.
video.
He changed it after your reaction.
What
Y'all
what did he
interacted,
change it
he
from?
changed the title. We don't
What did he
know.
change
Tell
it?
us.
The Lupe Fiasco problem part 1.
Okay.
He changed it after y'all interaction. Okay, but what was the title of the Lupe Fiasco problem part 1?
See.
Technical.
Oh, I see. No, this is fucked
rap
up.
does not sell
Hey,
records.
Cub.
You're right.
What?
Hey, Cub.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe
Cub.
the interaction, maybe.
Hey, Black, I'm
This
only
is fucked up.
Luke. What up?
Yeah, that
Cub.
interaction.
I'm only talking to you.
Oh, that.
I don't like how he does that either. You can't show up to a room full of people and be like, oh, I'm only talking to you. But everybody else has contributed to the conversation, but you're trying to discredit and exclude everyone else's points. I'm only talking to you. I don't know what got going on as far as like affiliation or whatever, but he's like, hey, cuz, I'm only talking to you.
That's fucked
Cub.
up.
I'm only talking to you. I'm only talking nigga I've been knowing down for damn near decades.
Oh,
The
I see what's
original
wrong.
title of that video
Yeah,
was
that's crazy. Hold on.
the
I'm
Lupe
gonna show it to y'all.
the Lupe Fiasco problem. Listen, Lupe Fiasco problem part 1, meaning he was gonna have a part 2 and a part 3. So before he got the part 2, the first thing I say to him, as soon as I jump on the live on the next joint, is what's the problem?
Oh yeah, technical skill doesn't sell records. The Lupe Fiasco. Yeah, he fucked up, Miss Hummus. How do
It's
you
not
say that about
fucked up.
somebody that sold records?
It's not fucked up. It's engagement. It's content. King Green had a point to make, and he piggybacked off that to make a point about it. We all know how this thing works. When you're a rapper and you writing rhymes, you take instances and things that have happened and you flip them and put them in your rhymes. When Kendrick said, "Should I gossip with my bitch like I'm Young Thug too?" The weight of that line comes from everybody knowing that Young Thug be gossiping on the phone. And so if Koala's a former battle rapper and a content creator, and all he did was flip one thing into another thing and connected the dots between the artists on some hip hop shit, like, what are we mad about? How is that so disrespectful? Because he said some shit you don't like, bro. Everybody don't have to like your music, Lupe. I love it, most of it. Everybody don't have to like it, bro. And regardless of how you feel about this man talking about you, you're a public figure. And he didn't say nothing outside of the realm of your celebrity. So what's your problem?
He changed it after their
The
conversation.
Lupe Fiasco stuff. He changed the title after the conversation that him and Lupe had.
Yeah, but you
Well,
don't
the
understand.
original title was
Y'all
something
making
else.
Y'all
y'all
making it
making it seem
worse.
like the conversation helped him get some act right.
Like, y'all understand why?
Like,
Look,
the conversation was needed.
Okay, if you go on somebody's live and show the fuck out, and then they decide to change the title because you are on there showing your ass.
Hey, cuz, hey, you ain't to talk to me like that, baby. Hey, watch. Hey, cuz, I'll see you later. I'll see you later. I'll see you later, cuz. You ain't to talk to me like that, baby.
I don't know you,
Clear this
homeboy.
up. Clear this up.
I don't know you, homeboy.
People want to clear this up.
I don't know you.
Come on, man.
Because I am not corrupt.
Hold on, KP.
He hung up.
Did you see how that went?
Just listen.
It's I'm also from the South. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not player, bro. This is not player. You know, you handle women differently. You approach women differently. There's no reason for you to be arguing with no woman. And he did do the right thing. If he felt like she was getting out of line, calling him out his name, yeah, exit stage left. But that just goes to show that's the risk you take showing up in these spaces. And it ain't even like it's very justified when you show up the way that you do too. And you try to be like, oh no, I'm only talking to her, bro. She on to Glasses. She on the phone too, bro. What she got to say matters. You can't just dismiss that. So I was disappointed in that interaction. I think Glasses kind of stood firm on the fact that he thought that everything Koala was doing was disrespectful. Let me get some of that. Hold on, let me take a sip real quick.
It's not actually.
I see. It's supposed to be bubbling. You can switch it out on me. But yeah. This is what Koala does. And then guess what he did after the interaction with the unmasking Lupe, ad hominems. I had to go look that up. That was dope. Misogyny and toxic energy. He flipped it. He took advantage of the moment. He did what he had to do. You know what I'm saying? And he took it as an opportunity to promote himself in the light that he wanted to be seen in. He said what he had to say about Lupe, and then he moved on. So, from that, I don't even want to play none of this. Did I have some of this? I'll play a few minutes. Just to show how this man was still acting on Culture United. He on a platform where everybody's there to celebrate and respect him. I know some of y'all don't want to see this. So you can mute it for these few minutes. And I'll try not to talk too much through it, but just to kind of show you acting like it didn't affect you, but then you go on this platform where you're being celebrated and you still take that opportunity to punch down and talk shit. Really? Anyways, so yeah, let's listen in. Let's see what Lupe got to say.
Week 2 of this, because you had a great conversation with Dwan. You were on a few other platforms. You're on Jason's. You were on Rap Roundtable. You were on Koala-Tea. And I look at all this and I kind of get confused because I'm not sure if whatever message you intend to convey is necessarily getting out there the way, in my mind, it feels like you might want it to be. Do you feel like you've been effective in sharing your perspective on various things?
Koala just wanted smoke in public, so I gave him smoke in public. That's all that was. I didn't promote anything. I didn't. You didn't know I had an album out. I didn't mention I had an album. I didn't.
And to say Koala wanted smoke is to completely dismiss everything he was talking about. He don't want no smoke. He was making a point about your music and how it doesn't resonate with the fans. And you thought that was smoke.
Instead of rewriting history, he's misrepresenting the accounts of what happened. He's doing that everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Instead of just taking the opportunity to let him voice his frustrations, he didn't even give him an opportunity to do that. Let him voice his frustrations, and then you can rebut, and then from there y'all can build. But you came in like you don't have no right to talk about me. You got what you got.
Pull up merch. I didn't like look. You know, he asked me what's on the hat. I'm like, I'm not here for any of that. I'm here to talk to you with smoke, because you want smoke. The other people wanted explanation of this, so I gave them an explanation of that. It wasn't about promotional things or anything like that. And then I felt like people feel like I give too much attention to the negativity, so I talked to my homies. I talked to Mickey Fact. We jump on the live, right? I'll call in to my brother Glasses Malone show him, you know, do this and this, that, and the third. So I just give people what they give me.
But we see how those different interactions went. With Glasses Live, you engaging with the fans, and went left. With the round table, when they asking certain questions that you just not trying to answer, it went left. When Mickey Facts, y'all were having an in-depth conversation about topics that y'all both were very interested in. Y'all shared those moments, you know, and the same level of interest. But you came to him with that. You knew Mickey Facts was on your level, and so you didn't try to stray far away from that. But with the fans and the other content creators that you quote unquote think should be happy to have you, it's not balanced. You tipping the scales.
So what people are looking for is smoke. What people are looking for is a certain amount of what have you. So I just give them that. And if they receive that in a certain way, then if they did, then it's successful. It's successful to him because he's spiraling right now. He's changing the titles to videos.
It just makes you look so bad, Lupe. Like Mickey laughing. You might think he laughing with you. I think he laughing at you, bro. Because you didn't even have to say that. Man, I bet you're going through it. Y'all hear my baby in the background? I need to get up off of here. But no, like the sexy smoke, bro. Like, what are you doing, Lupe? What are you really doing, man? Say the man spiraling. He ain't doing nothing he ain't supposed to do with his platform.
Rewriting history, like he's probably deleting his battles. Like it's off. He's crazy right now. Exactly.
He's crazy right now, Lupe. He's crazy right now.
Exactly like how I wanted it to be. And everybody else who chimed in is going to feel it the same way. Because when you start to rewind and you look at what people said and they get exposed for lying or not saying what really happened and doing all this other shit.
That's exactly why I did what I did. What did we do, y'all? We rewound all this shit. we went back to the beginning so we could all see what was going on. Give it a minute. I ain't want to, if he decided to come back at me, I want to be clear that I went through everything from all the information that I had so that when we got to this point here, it was no confusion. He's justified in feeling how he feels. I'm not saying he's not. He's wrong with how he's approaching these interactions with everybody. He's wrong for manipulating the conversation to paint people in a certain light to fit his narrative. And it's not cool. It's not true.
Their fans are gonna lose trust in him, right? Their sponsors are gonna lose trust in him because they're fucking liars. And then you're gonna look crazy. And I don't mind having that with you because I'm good. I've made my money, I've made my experiences, I've done my things. This is victory lap stuff for me. This is me coming back around the track multiple times. I don't care what people's opinions are. And I'm like, I have the things that I do in this world and in this life just right now in real time and what I'm doing. I mean, you can't buy the stuff that I'm doing. You can't match that. Like there's nobody that can match what I'm doing right now. My resume is super crazy. And I'm not putting it in people's face, but I put it in the people's face who say I'm not successful or I ain't shit or I need to change the way I do things or I'm jealous. Or my things didn't land the way it landed because of the way I talk or the way I act. I act like that in front of y'all. I don't act like that in front of the president of MIT.
It's not a good look, Lupe. I really hope he goes back and looks at the facts of what he's saying and how it comes off. For the people that agree with you, of course, they're gonna agree that you spitting, you know what I'm saying, you on one. Like I'm with you, Lupe. But for the people that don't agree, man, and exactly, he's lying. And even just throw him some bail. I ain't here to just outright say he's lying. He's being manipulative. I also think he's very out of touch. You know what I'm saying? And I think that contributes to him not having a full grasp of the reality of the situation. That's me shooting him some bail. If he was just another netter on the street, I'd definitely be like, nah, bro, I can't. You know better. Come on. But the fact that he's who he is, and I can see him living in a bubble sometimes and coming out of that bubble to engage with people and not really fully understanding certain aspects of what's happening around him and the things that he's doing. I can't just say he's lying, but he is being manipulative. Now the thing about Absa, he might be lying about that for sure. So I'm a whole space. I'm a whole space for any outcome. So
right? Or the dean of the Peabody, or with my fans who are actual fans. I just had a great conversation with one of my fans who has a startup that's doing something ill, and he is. Anyway, with those people, they got what they wanted. That's what they like. They like.
But Lupe, this is another thing. You couldn't say that, I'm like this with this person. I'm like this with that person. I'm like this with y'all, right? That's what we call being inconsistent, and it causes confusion. It causes chaos when you're not consistent. You open yourself up to be attacked like this, right? How you show up anywhere is how you show up everywhere. It's the whole point of make a good first impression. We've been fans of you going on 20 something years now. So, parts of us have a lot of love for you. But like I said before, hip hop is not for old, mature, retired citizens. Hip hop is for young people. Hip hop is a movement for the youth, for the people that aren't always in the limelight, in the public. And you come from that. That's another thing. Regardless of where you are now, you come from that. So to deny that perspective, to deny that part of yourself, it's doing you a disservice, man. And you have to, at some point, you're gonna have to see that, bro. I am because we are. Like Kendra said, I am all of us. You gotta move differently, bro. You can't think like, oh, I'm gonna talk shit about everybody else. I don't consider nobody else's opinion. You know, I only do this every now and again, just to da 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 whoop, 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 and be mad that people be like, well, fuck you too.
Smoke and controversy and lies and bullshit. So that's what they got.
I want to piggyback on what he said about as far as the audience wants. At the end of the day, I made a post about that because Lupe, when he called into my show, we were talking about, you know, the science of music. We was really having an in-depth conversation about what music is, because I was talking about, you know, some of the issues that hip-hop has brought to the family of music. And we had a quality conversation that anyone who cares really about music, I think you can learn something from it. Fact of the matter is, most people want smoke, like as far as listeners go, and we gotta just be, we gotta be okay with that. That just is what it is. And as a content creator, you know the best way to get numbers is with smoke, because that's what the algorithm is gonna feed, and that's what people want. You even gotta title your stuff in a certain way. They maybe look like even if you're not getting smoke, you want your titles to look like it was some kind of smoke, and people gonna click on it. So I think this is a question for society in general. Although it's easy to point fingers at the artists and entertainers, what are we as consumers clicking on when it comes across our feed? And I thought that was a prime example, because people are gonna make their money. You know what I mean? People are gonna do what they're gonna do, but as long as we feed into the smoke and everything's about the smoke, everything's about hate this, everything's about that, it's almost like sometimes you feel like the consumer doesn't care about the actual art form. You know what I mean? And so that's something I think as a society, I'm not here to judge or say yes, good or bad, but I do think it's a question we all need to ask ourselves and raise. What is it? Is it the artist or is it the consumer when it comes to this whole smoke culture? Because Lupe gave you two completely different sides of him, 2 different days apart. What side did the consumer gravitate towards?
Well, second applause.
And shout out to Dewan B. He always adds a different level of insight and perspective to the conversation, especially coming from a historian. I love that about him. I'm a big history buff as well around certain topics, and so the perspective that he brings from the history of music, I think, is very valuable, and I think that's something that we should all continue to tap in with, so that we can carry that wisdom to a lot of these conversations. I don't know if I want to play any more of that, because I do need to kind of get up out of here. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I do want to make notes. You can go back and check in with the Culture United and look at the clips from this video. I think they have this Culture United clips page that probably already has this thing clipped up. So it's a nice little 30-minute highlight video of everything that happened. I did want to mention that, you know, Lupe made some comments about Nas that wasn't well received. He continued, as you see, double down on the disrespect towards Koala, and then he also pivoted towards and pointed some of that disrespect towards the fans. And his stance was that his fans, even though they were doing it to show him a lot of love, they put him in a lot of at various positions that weren't necessarily the most positive outcome for him moving forward. And so it was very interesting to hear his perspective on that and his experience around how the fans influenced his interactions with his labels and the music industry, you know, from Occupy Wall Street and Anonymous and all that good stuff. The fans protesting outside the label for them to release the album. Like, you know, from the outside looking in, as an artist, that looks dope. Like, you want your fans to ride for you like that. And I even think about parallels to Kendrick and how Kendrick's fans ride for him. The whole reason why we in the situation where we in with Lupe right now is because he has a beef with Kendrick fans. He doesn't like how Kendrick fans engage with hip hop or whatever. But it's the same way that your fans engage with you in hip hop. Very, very similar. Now, granted, we ain't go protest and you know, disrupt the whole label at a building, but you know, I think it is a lot of parallels between Lupe's fans and how they've, you know, impacted his career, and maybe some of the fear or some of the correlations that he sees in Kendrick's fans and how they impacted Kendrick's career. And so all of these things are very valuable conversations to have, very, very important talking points to consider. But I don't think we should be operating from a space of making blanket statements about fans. You know what I'm saying? Or people in general. Regardless of whether you agree with what they have to say or not. When you like label a situation as, you know, being a product of fandom or standom, it removes you having to hold yourself accountable. And that's what we see, Lupe. That's what we see. And you know, it's not for us to make you see that. You got to see that on your own. And I think this past week has shown you that even though you're justified in how you feel a lot of times, you know, you bring a lot of value to the conversation. You're doing a lot of great things. And we celebrate that. We probably don't celebrate it enough, Lupe. You're right. We don't celebrate that enough. But common decency cannot be lost because you feel about a certain type of way about some things somebody said. That's not scholarly. It's not confident. Like if you a God MC, bro, I'm not even a God MC. You know, I have my own perspectives about how I feel, and I fall short just like everybody else. But on some, we gotta elevate the consciousness of the people, man. And you have a responsibility to the culture that puts you in this position, that made you as successful as you are. You have a responsibility to us, to these people, to ignore that and to operate from a place of I can do what I want. I don't have to answer to you guys. It's gonna fall back on you, bro. And I don't think in a positive way. It's gonna karma. Karma has a funny way of showing you how you treat people is ultimately how you're going to be treated. And so we all had to kind of come to that realization at some point. You know, keep living. Life has a funny way of teaching you the things you don't want to learn on your own. Let me see. I did want to kind of briefly touch on this conversation with Punch. I ain't even gonna play the video. I'm just pull up. Y'all can look at the video. This is from DeVille. Shout out to DeVille, man. All the content creators. Appreciate Koala tapping in earlier. He hopped up in here and showed some love, man. That was dope. And you know, all the content creators I done beef with. We are Decipher, Ms. Hummus. It's still all love. You know, I appreciate everything y'all doing. You know, even our interactions might not have been the best. I still celebrate and promote what y'all are doing for the community, for the culture. I'm sure we'll have opportunities to maybe talk about that in the future, and I pray God keep me balanced and centered to where I don't throw the conversation off, and we can build from that. But this is a good example for all of us to learn from, for how we can move forward with engaging with each other and acknowledging and accepting each other. Because even Lupe taking the time out of his day to show up on Koala's Live was big. It was so major that like he recognized him. And even though he showed up with the sexy smoke, like Koala felt it like, man, I'm lit. He kept saying it like, I'm lit right now. Lupe Fiasco is on my channel. That's so dope. And I that ain't lost on me. I think it was an amazing moment for everybody, even Lupe. Because I think Lupe can kind of take this and learn from it and move forward differently if he chooses. But let's see. I'm gonna pull up the tweet real quick.
TDE Punch had spoken to him live stream up.
We said he just had a great conversation with Lupe. It's all love and respect on both ends. They spoke about the context, misunderstandings, misinterpretations, and intentions. All parts of the conversation we were having today. This is some misunderstandings, things get taken out of context. And what are your intentions? And so the fact that they went all the way back to the Monster Freestyle and the live stream from 2010, and you know, talked about the various podcasts in the last week. I think it's dope for them, for their relationship. You know, I think it's cool that they cleared the air. You know, and at the end of the day, it's still hip hop, y'all. Like, it ain't got to be more than just that. It's hip hop. It's folks really out here trying to better themselves through this art form. You know, this street urban culture that Glasses so eloquently uses, and I even take it back to what KRS One said, but hip hop is higher, infinite power, healing our people. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I hope comes out of this conversation. That's the only reason why I hopped into this discussion. You know, with even my criticisms of Lupe and everything, I hope that that's what y'all are taking away from this message, is that, you know, we got to make better choices. We got to do things differently in order to uplift our people. And that's going to lead us into our discussion tomorrow. And regardless of what, you know, what they had to say as far as Punch and Lupe, how they feel. 1 second. Hold on. There's still a lot of people, fans and other content creators, that feel very much disrespected. And so at some point we're gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to speak to that. We're gonna have to account for that. And I think that can't just be dismissed in this tweet. You know what I'm saying? That can't just be dismissed because Punch and Lupe had a conversation. So moving forward, I hope Lupe recognizes there is still gonna have to be a couple come to Jesus moments. But you know, he'll approach that, engage with that as he sees fit. So I appreciate y'all tapping in to me. Let me go through these pages real quick. Shout out to Screwface John. You know what I'm saying? Continue bringing the people, you know, the insights and perspectives on the culture. You know, you probably have one of the biggest followings on YouTube. The way you handle it, the way you manage it, man, is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? We can learn a lot from you. Shout out to Reed My Soul. I affectionately call Reed My Soul my cousin because we had the same last name. So, but nah, like even just him and his vulnerability. You know, he's got, you know, 64,000 followers, but he shows up like the boy next door every day. And I think that's so dope. Like, he never really kind of let stuff like this go to his head. He does kind of get, you know, a little self-conscious about himself, but I think that's just him being vulnerable. You know, him still figuring himself out and finding himself within the space. And the fact that he does it in front of us to you know, display his humanity. I think that's something that we all kind of use to connect with him, and that's dope. Lupe can learn a lot from that. Shout out Miss Hummus. She pushing 1,000. Let's go ahead and get Miss Hummus 1,000. You know, I need her to start getting some super chats because she sends a lot of super chats to everybody else. So you know what I'm saying. Regardless, we don't agree on everything, but she's got some good stuff going on. You know, we had our differences when I hopped on her live. Don't know if I ever go live with her again. But yeah, she's got some good stuff going on over there. She does a good job about pulling people up on stream as well. It can get a little chaotic, but I kind of picked that up from her, where she's not afraid to bring other people up and have conversations with complete strangers, and stuff like that. I'm glad I got the right Noah though, because if the other Noah would have came, it would have been a whole it would have been a whole other thing. So shout out to Miss Hummus. I ain't get a chance to really talk about him, but shout out to Charles Brown. He's had a couple of instances over the last couple of weeks where you know, they hacked his channel and he had to get his channel back. And you know, even I think earlier this week he had went live. Lupe was up in his chat, you know, talking crazy and stuff. It didn't get. I wasn't there, so I can't speak on it like I can for Read My Soul's chat. But Charles Brown does great coverage on this type of stuff, and he's approaching it kind of like how I am. I think we were around the same age demographic, so it's just dope seeing these other brothers out here doing their thing. Jay Nolan, that's the homie, you know, Southwest Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, Southside Atlanta, holding it down, representing for the city. He's a really, really dope rapper as well. For those that don't know, tap in with Jay Nolan and listen to some of his music. I think he just dropped an album. It's only available on through physicals. At some point, I'm sure it'll come up on streaming. But you know, and then he got brought up in the conversation for whatever reason. Lupe felt like he was dissing him, so he brought him up. But Lupe, man, I don't know what it is, but you kind of getting it wrong around a lot of these people, bro. Jay Nolan is. He always show up with nothing but respect. You know what I'm saying? And I think he's very neutral with his coverage. He doesn't have his bias is hip hop, just like Screw, just like Reed, you know, just to a certain degree, just like Miss Hummus. Everybody is here for hip hop. And yeah, I just want to take a moment to kind of shed some light on these people. And you know what? I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna pull them up as well. Shout out to Skip and DJ. I already done said what I had to say around the poetic justice theory and our interactions with that. And so I'm moving forward, bro. That was late 2025, early 2026. We in July. This is the third quarter. And y'all did some dope stuff, man. Y'all got some dope stuff going on. I ain't really been as tapped in as I used to be, but you know, I like what y'all got going on with the Cypher panel. Shout out to BK showing up there as well. Starsky, I ain't even pull Starsky up. Man, I love Starsky channel. You know, he be adding a lot of the esoteric sciences into the content, into the conversation. I think that's amazing. And so, man, just to see all these beautiful Black people on YouTube speaking up about the culture, this is dope. And I just hope we take this moment and we continue moving forward. You know, I speak on what I speak on, and I know I might rub some people the wrong way with how I approach certain things, but it's never any love lost from my end. You know, we can always come together and have a conversation as long as we remain respectful. That's all. So, Ms. Ashley, I still see you up on stage. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we get up out of here?
No, I've enjoyed speaking with you and everybody in the chat. Always love hearing what you got to say. I will definitely be back. Keep doing what you're doing.
That reminds me. My fault. Yeah, go ahead. Appreciate you.
No, that's it. I just wanted to show love and say I appreciated all this. This was fun. And keep doing what you're doing. No lies told here. I think most of what you say we can all agree with, and I don't know why Lupe is not taking that. It's like, okay, everybody can't be wrong.
Yeah,
maybe there's something I should walk back at least a little bit so that the majority of people can understand me. And so that's up to him to do that. That's his work. He got to do.
Sorry. So this is my flyer. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get my settings right. Anyways, I'm gonna just go to my page. I'm tired of this. This is what we got going on tomorrow. I got one of my good friends, Jovial Joe from Healing Heart Sounds. If y'all can't tap in, I know it's the holiday. You know, y'all might be out with your family and doing something. But if you can't tap in, I would love for y'all to show up to the chat. It's gonna be a conversation around intentional sound consumption, how we relate with not just music, but you know, other stimulus. A lot of people live in urban environments, and so we're constantly being bombarded with sound and frequencies and all kinds of stuff that sometimes we might not even recognize. And then to be more intentional about the things that we are consciously engaging with, I think is very important. And then it helps to, you know, put a lot of perspective on a lot of different things. You know, I think if some of our brothers practice sound therapy or sound healing, you know, they might not be so sensitive around certain stuff. So I think it's important to just think about that. I don't know if y'all noticed, and I keep mentioning it, but one day I will explain Kim Hotep from my perspective, what it means, and because that's my movement, just like Pac had, you know, euthanasia and what was it, Thug Life. Kendrick got High Power and all that. Lupe got the Sosa, the Society of Spoken Artists and stuff like that. My thing is Kim Hotep, and it stands for Black Creative Holistic Sustainability. And so I'll break that down at some point in the future. But these Kim Hotep episodes are more thought-provoking, higher level conversations on how we can move forward as a people. And so I appreciate y'all tapping in and showing love to that. And yeah, we're gonna be back in the, you know, tomorrow, and then from there probably be another couple days, couple weeks. But I ain't too hard to find. I ain't too far away, and I appreciate everybody for tapping in with me today. It was a beautiful conversation. My babies are tired of me being on stream. If y'all can't tell, they say, "Hey, cut that thing off and come tend to these diapers." So I'm about to go holler at my lovely ladies. But y'all, hold on. I gotta pull it up because I got my thing. You knocking my stuff over, son. Let me find it because I want to make a habit not to forget to bring this up every time. It's my prayer, my family's prayer of protection, and so gotta find it first. But once I pull it up, we're gonna say it and we're gonna get out of here. Yeah. All right. Here. Let's try to do it like this here. So, Dua Nature, to all ancestors known and unknown, we give thanks for your guidance and protection along this journey called life. Ankh Uja Sinel. Ashe. Oh, it's the same. Much love, everybody. Until next time. Peace.
Dad, did you know that this one's